into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning. I hope it's a beautiful morning. I hope you're feeling energized, vital, and yes, just as a baseline, happy. And if you're not there yet, stick around. We'll get you there. Very good morning. My name is Graham Richards. We got you for 3 hours and we're going to have a lot of fun. And this is going to be so informative and a little spicy. It's a health and lifestyle Tuesday on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And word on the street, American socialite, let's call her Black China, has now seen the light and has removed her butt and cheek implants. I know it's earth-shattering news that is going to change the way your life plays out today. No, probably not. But it does beg a few questions, which leaves us thinking, is plastic surgery a thing of the past? Have we finally reached self-acceptance? We're going to find out today, and we are aiming for a more natural look all round. That seems to be the trend, and we're going to delve into that today, and we're going to look into the makeup trends around that as well. Then in another dose of Off the Record, we discuss the trend a little further with our media personality and Good Hope, FM presenter Carissa Cupido, and medical doctor and intuitive and shamanic guide Dr. Leila Sadin. It's going to be interesting. We're going to sink our teeth into this one. And of course, there is only one man I would rather have at my side to embrace these next 3 hours, and he's right there. I can't embrace him yet, but I'm going to. Morning, Carl.
I almost thought you meant Ryle now, but okay, no, it's me. Thank you so much. Yes, hi, my name is Carl Wasty. It's great to have you along for the ride this morning. And as Graham mentioned, we're going to delve quite deeply into this new trend. A lot of people are reversing a lot of their surgeries. A lot of people are trying to go straight to where it all started, which is so beautiful, of course. But you know what? Beauty is only skin deep. The question is, have you had Botox or plastic surgery, any enhancement of that sort? And if so, I'd love to get a response from you on 063-408-8863. Now, if not, would you want to try it? Would you want to get into it? Do you think that you perhaps have been looking and saying, maybe I want to give it a shot? I think that would be fantastic. So please let me know about that, and also why the justification behind it is more important. Personally, I've had a massive chat with Zoe about this as well before, and I just said to her that if you are happy and you want to make improvements, that's important. But don't make improvements to make yourself happy. That's the most important thing. But we will definitely jump in there a little bit later and make sure that you just jump in with your comments. A voice note will do. 063-408-8863. We'd love to hear from you. And take a sip of your Feel Good Breakfast show as we get into news, sport, weather, everything you need right here.
Thank you so much, Carl. Let's start here in South Africa, where the Black Business Council has now joined other groups strongly criticizing the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, because of his decision to partially exempt Eskom from the state institution's mandatory disclosure of its expenses. Now, the notification was announced in the Government Gazette, and this involves Eskom being exempt for 3 years from disclosing irregular spending not related to crime in its financial statements. Now, the Chief Executive of the Black Business Council, Hanki Marabane, said the decision was irrational, especially coming from Godongwana, who should be the custodian of clean government and accountability. We'll certainly watch that space over the next couple of days. Then the Acting Director General of Finance, Ishmael Momoniat, has praised the work of the South African Revenue Service, or SARS, in the past tax year. So Momoniat says the 1.8 thousand billion collected by the Revenue Service in the 22-23 financial year will do much to enable the government to now meet its obligations. And SARS Commissioner Edward Kisveta said earlier that by midnight on March the 31st of 2022, the Revenue Service had collected more than 2,000 billion rand before refunds, which is 9.7% more than the previous tax year. Then casting a wider gaze on the international news front, an Ivorian technology entrepreneur and smartphone designer has won the World Literacy Award excuse me, for 2023. The award recognizes individuals and organizations annually for their outstanding endeavors that promote literacy and learning. And Alain Capo invented a smartphone that allows people to communicate in at least 16 of the languages spoken in the Ivory Coast. And he said he had made the phone for people who cannot read or write. And Capo says what drives him is that he's seen firsthand the inequalities of education worldwide, and this inspired him to step up and make a difference. Now, oil prices have also surged after several of the world's largest exporters announced surprise cuts in production. Now, the price of Brent crude oil is now trading close to $85 a barrel. That was after jumping by almost 6%. Economists have warned that higher oil prices could make it harder to bring down the cost of living, which has hit an all-time high across the globe right now. Brent crude prices rose after Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and several Gulf states said on Sunday that they were cutting output by more than 1 million barrels of oil a day. Then 89-year-old Japanese surfer, 89-year-old, let me say that again, Seiichi Sano was recently named the world's oldest person to surf by the Guinness World Records. Now, Sano said he was inspired to take up surfing shortly after he had climbed Mount Fuji, and no, that wasn't 50 or 60 years ago, as one may have expected, but only a mere 9 years ago. That's right, Sano learned to surf at the grand old age of 80. It's never too late. And the adage, and we quote here, "You're never too old to learn something new," has never rung more true. And Sano said this, and this is another quote: "I work with a bank manager who has a really tan skin. I thought he may be a golfer, but when I asked him, he whispered to me, 'I surf.'" 3 days later, he went surfing for the first time and was instantly hooked like so many others. Sano now surfs all year round, and he says he wishes to surf until he's 100 years old. And all we can say, surf's up, dude. And that's where we leave our news for now. Let's hope the sport is as jovial this morning.
It's always jovial, G. That's when we get into the sporting action, and I love this part, especially when I get to do sport. Let's start with cricket. Ruturaj Gaikwad and Moeen Ali started with a bat and ball for Chennai Super Kings as they pulled off a 12-run win over Lucknow Super Giants in a high-scoring encounter. CSK batted first and scored 217 for 7. Gaikwad top scored for Chennai with 57 at the top of the order and was ably supported by his opening partner Devon Conway, who scored 47. Ali then starred with the ball, taking 4 for 26. As LSG only managed 205 in their chase. Let's stay with cricket, shall we? Leading Australian female players are set to be the main beneficiaries of a new 5-year deal between Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricketers Association. All female and male professionals will be sharing a projected 634 million Australian dollars over the next 5 years, and women will be paid from a 133 million Australian dollar pool, up from 80 million, and that is a fantastic feat for them. Of course, a player who holds a top-tier contract and also plays in the Women's Big Bash League is now able to earn around 800,000 Australian dollars a year. Leading players could earn more than 1 million Australian dollars if they also play in India's Women's Premier League and the 100 as well, which is good news when it comes to remuneration for that sport. On to football, Michael Keane scored a stunning long-range strike in the 90th minute to salvage a Premier League draw for Everton against Tottenham in a game that saw both sides finish with 10 men. Keane stepped up from the back to arrow a 25-yard drive into the top corner, the point taking Sean Dyche's men out of the relegation zone. Harry Kane had given Tottenham the lead in the second half from the penalty spot after Keane himself had fouled Christian Romero in the area. Decore was sent off after an hour for shoving Kane in the face, while Maura was shown a straight red moments before the equaliser. And big news when it comes to the combat sports world. Now, combat sports, WWE and the owners of mixed martial arts franchise UFC are to form a new £17.3 billion sports entertainment brand. The publicly traded company will see UFC owners Endeavour Group Holdings taking a 51% controlling interest and existing WWE shareholders 49%. The business will be led by Endeavour Chief Executive Ari Emanuel. WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon will fill the same role at the company, with Dana White remaining Ultimate Fighting Championship president as well. That's it for the sporting action for now. Another update in 1 hour. Let's take a look at the weather. Here's G.
Well, from some of the highest paid in the world to some of the deepest. Let's listen to this story. This is incredible. So this morning, we dive 8 kilometers deep into the ocean for our environmental story. Now, scientists have filmed a fish swimming at an extraordinary depth in the ocean, making it now the deepest observation of this nature that has ever been made. The species, a type of snailfish, one of the few that can survive at these depths, was filmed swimming at 8,336 meters down. That is insane. The juvenile snailfish was filmed by a camera system attached to a weighted frame released from a ship, the DSSV pressure drop. Now, bait was added to the frame to attract sea life. The lead scientist said the snailfish could be at, or very close to, the maximum depth any fish can actually even survive. At 8 kilometers down, they experience 800 times the pressure at the ocean's surface, but their gelatinous bodies help them survive. The DSSV pressure drop and its crew-capable submarine limiting factor were used by the American adventurer Victor Vescovo back in 2018 and 2019 to visit parts of the deepest Earth's 5 major oceans. Incredible that we're still making these discoveries at this day and age. Then let's take a look at some of your weekly or daily discoveries just outside your house. Let's take a look at your sunrise pictures. Rosalind out in Durbs showing off an early morning shot. Absolutely beautiful. The streaks of orange tones blasting through the sky. Come on, city, wake up. Faima in Sydenham showcased this deep violet hue and city lights sparkling over the homes. Love these early risers. The Zia in Westville shared a flawless pink full sunrise. Wow, beautiful sky. Then Teresa from Vredendorp sent in this magical video of soft pink fluffy clouds from her home before she steps out and heads to start this Tuesday morning. Go and conquer your day, Teresa. Thank you so much to everyone who sent through those pics and videos. Please keep them coming. Share your views on 063 408 8863. All right, brand new day, brand new temperatures to look forward to. Let's start in Polokwane, 14 your low going up to 27, with just a slight chance of rain there. Expect the rain in Mbombela, where your low is 15 going up to 25 degrees. Pretoria, your low 12 going up to 28. Johannesburg ranging between 10 and 26. Mahikeng 10 and 29. Klerksdorp 10 and 27 degrees. Moving to Kimberley, your low 9 going up to 26 degrees. Bloem 6 is your low going up to 25. Moving to Richards Bay, a 66% chance of rain as you kickstart your day on 18 degrees going up to 25. Pietermaritzburg, similar temperatures, 14 your low going up to 24. Down in Durbs, 18 is where you start your day going up to a max of 25. Then Mthatha ranging between 11 and 22. In East London, your low 15 going up to 23 degrees. And please expect rain there, 80% chance of rain. In fact, Craddock, your low 9 going up to 24 degrees. Gqeberha, 13 your low going up to 24 degrees today. George ranging between 12 and 23. Cape Town, your low 14 going up to 23. Worcester ranging between 12 and 29. Then Sutherland, temperature starting to wane now. 9 is your low going up to only 24. And Uppington, 12 is your low. It's a moderate day by your standards, 31 degrees. So just stay out of the peak heat over midday. And as always, regardless of the weather, make sure it's a beautiful day. Let's see if we can get you there.
It is a beautiful day, definitely a beautiful day, and the temperatures are looking good, but you need some food, and that's what we do here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We give you food. So here's an idea for you. If you want to take some roasted lamb, a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of brie, there is an incredible toaster we're going to show you. As you can see, Nicole, our super amazing. We call them kitchen fairies. To me, they are kitchen geniuses. We'll be taking you through a recipe. They really got that malted brie going. It is fantastic. And we will also be discussing World Autism Awareness Day, which is vitally important. When it comes to entertainment, it's safe to say that we're on a roll on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Stay there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us on, yes, a medically focused Tuesday, as we do. And today is a special one, especially for parents going through this journey right now and the little ones under their care. World Autism Awareness Day shines a light on autism as a growing global health crisis. Anyone in the midst of it will call it only that. And it's commemorated on the 2nd of April every single year, and with good reason, to raise awareness. And our activities surrounding the day help to increase and develop world knowledge of autism and stress the importance of early diagnosis and early intervention. There are ways to manage, but you need your tribe around you. And speaking of which, here to tell us more about autism is registered counsellor Sondre Adams and registered dietitian Zahn Solomon from the Cape Town Therapy Hub. And apparently they love each other. They work so well together. I would imagine you have to. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. It's impossible for me to go through a conversation without putting my own life context in here. As a parent with 2 young children, one of the most terrifying things I think you think about when your child is first born, or even when you fall pregnant, you think, what if?
Yeah.
What if? Now you've got this journey has been laid out in front of you. The what if has been answered. It's going to happen. You've got to come to grips with where you are in the world. But maybe we can start, being Autism Awareness Day, to explain the condition, because I would imagine it sits within a spectrum that is very difficult to just paint with one brush. So either of you can weigh in, and I expect both of you are going to have a lot to say this morning.
Yeah.
But Zahn, maybe do you want to start there? How would you describe autism?
Well, I think Sondre would probably be better equipped, but it is absolutely a spectrum of many different neuro...
Yeah.
She's going to take it.
Yeah,
gonna
see,
take
the crack's starting to show already, you know.
I'm a dietitian.
Yeah, so autism spectrum, like we said, it's on a spectrum. And so you get mild conditions, and then you get kind of moderate, and then you get severe. So it's a neurodevelopmental disorder, which means basically your brain is just wired differently to the typical person, right? So the way you internalize and process information, whether it's sounds or touch, or even just the way you see the world, is
Sensory.
completely different. Exactly. I'm trying to kind of make it more understandable and
For
not,
sure, yeah.
use broad terms. But overall, it's just the way we process the world, which is different to the typical person.
And a sensory overload at times that I think
Exactly.
adults would struggle to comprehend. I mean, we're lucky, as adults, we have all of the tools to be able to deal with this overload of emotion, the sensory kind of information coming through. That being said, these are still little children that need to grow, they need to develop, they need the right kind of food in their bodies so that their brains can grow. I would imagine the role of a dietitian in this space becomes multi-dimensional. So how would you explain where you step into the process, and why is diet so important?
Well, many children or adults with neurodiversity or autism spectrum disorder present with food sensory aversions. So aversions to certain colors or textures or consistencies or smells or tastes. And that often leads to very selective picky eating, which very often presents in both adults and children as underweight or overweight, because there's generally not the right balance of things
The
being
nutritional value.
So the first step is to identify what's missing and how to address that, and then there's the supplementation route of other good things.
And I would imagine every child, and I know we're going to constantly oversimplify in our attempts to try and understand, but it's like a Rubik's Cube where you've got to try and find the way in and unlock that. Do we know what causes the autism spectrum disorder, is probably the best way of describing it. Do we know why this is a part of the human condition?
So there's no hard and fast solution or even reason. The etiology has not been determined, but research has kind of suggested that genetics and environmental variables do kind of impact the development thereof, but there is no real cause for it.
It's not vaccinations.
No, it's not vaccinations. We'll put it out there.
Make that
That
very
being
clear.
said, and before we get into the practical elements of how you would approach a case and each individual child in the family, because I suppose the family comes as a package deal,
Yes.
and you've got to deal with the parents as much as you've got to deal with that child. What are some of the big misnomers, some of the big myths out there that make your job more difficult. What do you think is the misconception around autism? Because we have this, I've met people on the spectrum. I have a feeling that I have at times of my life experienced this.
Yes.
Everyone is so different. What are some of the big myths out there?
So the one that Zahn mentioned is actually one of the biggest, is that it is caused by vaccinations, which is not true. One of the other myths is that only rich people get autism. So it's like...
No, only rich people, Jen, can deal with it
yes,
in
exactly.
this way.
It's detected in that way. And I think also in terms of support and treatment, also it's seen as something that only rich people can deal with. And so that's why it's important for us to provide psychoeducation. Another myth is that it's caused by only the mom or only the dad, and it is a mixture of genetics. So it could be carried down gene to gene. We are aware of that, but we're not sure exactly which gene or how. We just know it's inherited in some way.
So many of these things seem to be almost a manifestation of us trying to figure out what's going on and needing someone to blame or something to blame or something to point the finger at. And as a parent, I can certainly understand that. There is a socioeconomic element at play here, and I've got to thank you for doing the work you do every day to democratize access to treatment. If you are going through this journey yourself right now, we'd love to hear from you. 063-408-8863. What has made the difference in your child's journey? We'd love to hear from you.
And I know what makes a big difference is just sharing a dose of care. Now, there's no greater feeling than sharing that dose of care with those who are your nearest and dearest. And we are blessed to share as we approach the festivities of the Easter weekend, courtesy of Panado. Now, all you have to do is reply to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter post and nominate someone close to you who deserves a dose of care to the value of 2,000 Rand this Easter using the hashtag PanadoSA and hashtag a dose of care. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Let's make this Easter one our loved ones will never, ever forget. No child is going to pass up chocolate Easter eggs, but how do you do something just as sweet for grown-ups this Easter? By giving them a daily chance to win 2,000 Rand, courtesy of Panado. If you know somebody who could do with that, nominate them for a 2,000 Rand dose of care on the Expresso social media pages using hashtag PanadoSA and hashtag a dose of care. Competition runs from the 3rd of April to the 14th of April, and T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're rejoining our health chats, and while there is not conclusive evidence, it is estimated that around 1 to 2% of the entire population in South Africa might indeed be autistic. To discuss this further, registered counsellor Sondre Adams and registered dietitian Zahn Solomon from the incredible Cape Town Therapy Hub are still with us this morning as we continue our discussion around autism. And Nirmala has weighed in this morning with a comment. We'd love to hear from her. Let's hear it.
Good morning, Feel Good Expresso team. Mrs. Nirmala Devi, Mudli of Amkomas. A very, very, very interesting topic. I, for one, would like to know how early, since child has been born, would a parent or anyone around the child detect there are signs leading to autism, which, of course, would be later told after tests. So I do admire these parents. They are such beautiful children, but these parents have got a lot of patience. Stay blessed. Have a good day.
Nirmala says one thing a day, and she drops it like that. Absolutely amazing question. So where do we start? As a parent, what are those signs that you look out for?
So it can be detected as early as 12 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So we look at the developmental milestones, whether it's babbling or having social interactions with the parent, the mom. So delayed babbling, for example, or high-pitched voice when they are trying to babble, unusual to a 12-month-old. Between 12 and 18 months is when it can be detected. And then also the facial expression. So when you do the "Hi, my baby," for example, and the child just has a flat
not being
affect,
mirrored.
they're not able to mirror that. So they're not processing the information in the same way a typical...
Those mirror neurons aren't being activated in that way.
Exactly. So that's some of it. And then also unusual ways of playing with toys, lining them up all the time or constantly flipping. And I'm speaking now from children from 3 onwards,
Okay.
where that is a bit different. Toe walking is also something that often comes up. Now, just bear in mind, these are just some signs that need to be taken with caution, because my child walks on his, on his
exactly.
toes.
Everything you have said, both of my children have done at some point.
At
And my
some
3-year-old daughter does a lot of that sort of thing. But I suppose it's knowing a baseline of your child to a degree.
Exactly.
And it's also that understanding that every child hits a milestone at a different time.
Exactly.
But I hate to say it, as parents, you're going to always be stuck in that. It could be the worst thing ever, or it could be nothing.
Yes.
There's very little middle ground, it feels like, in those first few
Exactly.
years of parenting.
And like we said, it's on a spectrum. So sometimes it flies below the radar until they go to preschool. And then you start noticing these almost outbursts and meltdowns. And you're wondering, why? Why is my
this
child not
happening?
able to
Yeah.
regulate their emotions? So these are some of the signs and symptoms. Again, with a bit of a disclaimer, every child is different.
And completely so. Now school, my son's just started at school, and how the schooling system has changed to embrace this kind of thinking is mind-blowing to me compared to where we're at. So I can understand how adults my age are walking around undiagnosed. But kids, I think that net, thankfully, is getting a lot stronger now. How do we approach the child then, when you start your journey of trying to understand their dietary requirements and how to unlock that key, that code? Where do you begin?
So I will typically speak to the parents first and have a session with them, and then do a quick clinical examination on the child to make it as low interaction as possible with the child, because it's more based on the parent and the occupational therapist and the child. So I just basically do a clinical examination to look at body weight and height and growth chart milestones.
Get that health baseline,
And looking for any clinical deficiencies that are pretty clear, like anemia or any vitamin or mineral deficiencies. But what I do with the parents is I get a whole background, the diet history, what are they eating, what are there sensory aversions, are there any sensory aversions, what won't they eat? And from that diet history, I am generally able to ascertain what's missing. And then comes the Rubik's Cube of, okay, this is what I want, and this is what the child has sensory aversions to. So how do we make sure that the child gets the correct nutrition? So, for example, proteins, if they don't like that meat texture. So are eggs a possibility? Are other, how do we do it? So I always have short-term goals of, okay, so your child will eat this, so let's try and do a little bit more of this and a little bit less
Small
of
wins,
this.
big wins.
And then the long-term goal is where I would work with occupational therapist and they do amazing things to look at food.
overcome,
To overcome the food aversions, to play with it. Very messy, but very good for the child.
I have a feeling there are so many people, just as individuals, being triggered right now because this does speak to the human condition. I think we all sit on the spectrum to some degree.
Definitely.
But take nothing away from what parents and children are experiencing at the extreme end of that scale. And we're going to talk about proactive steps that you can take right now in your life in our next section. We are talking about World Autism Day as a means of spreading awareness. And I think ultimately how we can get access to care like this is probably the most important element to promote. So if you can help, please do that. If you want to share any voice notes with us like Neil Miller, 063-408-8863, that is the number to use.
I'm loving this conversation. We're going to keep it going. If you have any questions, please send it over to our WhatsApp line. But for now, keeping up with the trends, it's not always easy, but creating a trend is something we can do with ease. With the Easter festivities coming up, we have the solution for relief after overindulging in those festivities. And let's see how our roast lamb, cranberry and brie gourmet toasties come through. Brought to you by Citro Soda. It will spice up your Easter table. Now, of course, we're going to give you a lovely recipe. There are some acidic stresses involved. Graham, I need you to join me over here.
Am I one of the acidic stressors?
You are the first acidic stressor.
When I walk into a kitchen, people generally like, oh, no. Oh.
Immediately reflux. No, I'm just kidding. So what we're going to do is, I feel like this is a great idea for afters. When you have some leftovers after the Easter weekend.
Is this a joke? Leftovers.
No, come on.
It wasn't not a joke. Oh,
no,
sorry.
It could be. But so I want you to just revive that for me. I've got barbecue sauce and I've got sriracha. And I want you to add that in there and just mix it through. I'm going to take our little mini buns here and I'm going to cut them in half and give them a good toast, okay?
Did you call those mini buns?
I'm going to call them mini. Well, obviously it's me. They had big ones. I told them, guys, it's not a brand.
It's not a lot. Sourdough.
So that's our...
This has the makings of a modern classic, hey?
It does.
This kind of sandwich is something that you might end up having to make at least once a week. You're going to have a leg of lamb or some kind of delicious deboned lamb once a week so you can make these sandwiches the day after.
Well, that's the great thing about it, the versatility is you can shed leftover chicken. You can do any protein in here, provided that you give it some zhuzh, like you revive it with barbecue sauce and sriracha. That's the whole idea.
Boy.
Over here, I'm going to toast these, and I think I give it a good toast. You know what this does for a bun? It really... It kind of seals it so that if I'm going to add the cranberries a little bit later...
Does it tighten the bun a little bit?
It doesn't. It's like gym for the buns, John. That's it. You want to put that on there?
Yeah,
right.
try it after.
But what are you noticing over here? You've got acidic stressor there. You've got cranberry that's coming through as well.
Oh, that could hit
but
you.
You don't want to mess with that deliciousness because you want to actually... Even cheese can...
I'm looking at this camembert and I'm like, my heart.
So that's why I want to make sure that we have all of this beautiful decadence, but you can actually still enjoy, this with citrus soda having your back. That's the whole idea.
Oh,
so these are going to toast away. They're looking fantastic, which is great. And as we do that, sometimes people get a burning feeling, behind the chest.
Yeah.
The breastbone, of course, and that starts after one eats, and it may be heartburn and may need acidic reflux treatment. And one often experiences acid indigestion along with heartburn. Citrus soda can actually help relieve the discomfort for both. Heartburn symptoms could last from a few minutes to several hours, but please just take a deep breath, and citrus soda has definitely got your back with regard to this. Now, I've got these nicely toasted.
And we've got the cranberry flavor now, just to match. You could almost drink it as a side to go with this.
And essentially what we want here is we just want to assemble as simply as possible. So we've got our cranberries. I would like to do a little bit of this
I'm really interested in how you're going to stack this. So we've got some baby spinach.
Okay, so this is the way I do it. I like layering that down. Why? Because I don't want the bun to get soggy.
For sure.
And then I would like to go down with some of the brie.
Okay.
And at this point over here, what I'd usually do is I'd put that into the oven a bit, get that all melty, or even the air fryer.
Get some funk out of there, yeah.
And then I'm going to finish off with some cranberry on the top here, and this is where things get nice and acidic and
these
beautiful.
two are forever wed.
Yes.
Hey, like the Joker and Harlequin, these two. Camembert, cranberries.
I mean, you see it in charcuteries, but now you get to see it on a gourmet toasty, which is great. And then I seal the deal, actually, with my spinach, which is always good. And then You drop that on.
Okay, I'm going to give you that.
And this is going to give you that. See what I'm doing? I'm kind of layering it. And don't be shy. I want it to be unctuous. I want it to be Moorish. That's the whole idea.
That's
Whoa.
unctuous. That's
okay,
unctuous.
that's
Unctuous. Okay, let's slide
that's not that I had in my vision, but
it. You could probably use a little less sauce. Oh,
yes.
my
Okay,
goodness,
hold
look
it. I'm
at
going to
that.
pop that on and just
Oh,
serve this way.
my word.
There we go. Well, most of it is now on here.
But that's going to have to go on to the second. That is glorious, dude. That is absolutely glorious.
Okay, so
man.
that's us. If you want to get any of the ingredients of the recipe, please go over to expressoshow.com. That was brilliant. In fact, I'm going to stack it like that from now on.
Please, yeah, you could probably go a little bit higher. And yes, you've got your citrus soda in the corner, but now you realize people are going to be on purpose leaving lamb left over now so they can make these buns.
I hope that's the case, because I feel like lamb brings families together. So if that's the case, I'm very happy we did that for you. Roast lamb, brie and cranberry gourmet toasty with citrus soda having your back. And it's Easter winnings, of course, with citrus soda, as they give you the chance to win a cash prize of 5,000 Rand. Simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages and tell us about your Easter family traditions. And don't forget to use hashtag citrus soda and hashtag reach for relief. Competition closes on 6 April. T's and C's apply, and on expressoshow.com. Are you having citrus soda?
I'm going to have a little bit of citrus soda because I have a feeling, wow, it's going to be quite a full-on meal breakfast this morning.
You want to? I mean, you made that. You want to tap in? Oh, why are you cutting it? Come on, our champ.
Come to me.
Let's
my
see.
little friend.
Bring it on. Okay, that's got to be amazing. That's what I'm talking about. If you want this feeling, and also citrus soda helping you with the acid reflux afterwards, don't worry about it. You can just go grab that and get the rest of it. What do you think?
That is amazing. Get your mouth around that.
Okay, I'm onto it though. You
Oh,
better
my
do the
goodness.
same.
Oh, my word.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Dai, o Alfredo.
We date Italian. We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gahle gahle. We're Italian. That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are back with registered counsellor Sondre Adams and registered dietitian Zan Solomon from the Cape Town Therapy Hub, and wrapping up our discussion around autism this morning. In fact, it's estimated that worldwide about 1 in 100 children has autism. And according to the WHO, some well-controlled studies have, however, reported figures that are substantially higher. I think that is probably the biggest issue in South Africa, is a lack of diagnosis if you look at our socio-economic circumstance. If you're a parent right now, and one of the kind of moments of our discussion has lit a light bulb for you, what do they do? A parent who suspects their child has autism, what's the first step?
All right, so you could go to your local clinic, and they would then either do a screening. One of the nurses will be able to do a screening and then recommend that you see a developmental pediatrician or a clinical psychologist, who will be able to then do the full diagnosis. Again, screening is important, you know, those symptoms that we spoke about. But if you're not able to get to a pediatric a developmental pediatrician, you'd be able to go to a clinic, or even an NPO would be able to help. So Autism SA or the Neurodiversity Center, all those places provide the opportunity for you to get screened.
So there are people out there. We will keep those contact details up for as long as we possibly can on all of our social media pages. So advice for parents, because I feel like your conundrum sits more in dealing with parents than it does with the children and helping them through this phase. What advice do you have for parents who are going through this right now, or possibly about to start this journey?
Well, I would just say that there is a lot of hope. There's a lot of positive changes that you can see in your child. It's really, there is a multidisciplinary team that deals with this, and they each specialize in a different area. So you're going to be, the idea is that the parents and the child are really going to be held, and don't listen to what you know, read or hear on social media. You know, children with autism spectrum disorder can have very productive, functional, happy lives. And it's just the earlier you start intervention, the better. And a lot of parents are very scared of the word or the diagnosis.
For sure.
The label.
You might have come up with a diagnosis with that one.
Thank you.
No, but I understand exactly what you mean. For fear of just hearing that diagnosis, they will not go and get it.
But a lot of them then actually go through the treatment processes of the occupational therapist and the psychologist and the speech therapist, without you know, accepting maybe the diagnosis. But that's fine. You don't have to label things. Just
completely. There
is a lot of support out there, and it's not just for the child. You know, for example, the occupational therapists help you with structures and routines at home, practices that you can put in place to make your child more comfortable. Just simple things that you wouldn't have thought of yourself, and it's amazing.
Because you're specialists. There is a reason why you have all been brought into the same room together, and I'm starting to understand this ecosystem a little bit better now, and how we can plug into that. And I think the main drive needs to be giving more and more children access to this. What advice do you have for parents who are going through this journey right now? When we look at how multidisciplinary this space is, what's your
Look, it's also important to recognize that each family dynamic and culturally it's different. So in some cases you might have stigma attached to it. So parents might be aware or have the diagnosis but not disclose it due to the child being stigmatized or just ostracized in some way. So then we would go the route of dealing with those so-called symptoms, the signs, and working around it so that that child or adult can then adapt. You know, so that they are more able to function in the typical world. But it is important to have that diagnosis as well as to create awareness within the education system, for example. So if teachers know your child struggles with A, B, and C, they'll be able to better support. Again, psychoeducation is important. So encourage the parents and family members as a whole, because it takes a village, right?
For sure.
To inform themselves and get more information. Support groups are available not only for children or the parents, but siblings as well. It's important because sibling rivalry steps
Well,
in.
they're going to be going through that journey together
Exactly.
regardless. Yeah.
Why is my sister getting more attention than me? You know, so to understand and to support the family as a whole. I think that is very important.
Just hearing both of your perspectives, to know from a parent's perspective that the health of my child can be looked after despite the complexities, to know that there is this network around that can answer those questions and just help us get back to our version of normal. And trust me, no one has a normal, okay? Everyone is slightly different. Let's get one last comment in here from Bronwyn Kirkpatrick. She says, good morning, thank you for this. I have 2 daughters who both have autism. The world needs to know about it as it's a real thing. More needs to be done, especially if you have teenagers or young adults. I can imagine, Bronwyn, how complex that becomes. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We are sending so much love to your beautiful family. There is a tribe waiting to wrap their arms around you if you are going through this. Do not be scared of the diagnosis. No one needs a label. Just focus on your child and taking that first step and unlocking their potential, whatever that looks like. Ladies, thank you so much. You are amazing for what you do. Hopefully this has helped you just a little bit to understand this space a little bit better.
Thanks a lot to our guests and a very, very important conversation. And on the topic of health, let's turn our attention to our healthcare professionals. Now, pharmacists are not only brave, but they inspire hope within their community. Pharmacy of the Week is a short feature acknowledging our incredible pharmacists. This is our way to say thank you to these brave healthcare workers. Proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Let's look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week, Ryan Park Pharmacy in Centurion.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
It's about the service that you give to the community specifically, not always just selling medicine. If people need medicine, yes, you give that to them, but it's much more than that. It's like a relationship that you build with your customers. People come to the pharmacy first for advice, and then it's actually our responsibility to decide correctly what do you do with your patient now. Do you just test them or send them to doctor? It's actually a very responsible position that we are in to serve the community on the best of our ability.
It's nice, outgoing, friendly people. Pharmacist, a very approachable person. I can discuss medical things with him. I've got a very inquiring mind, so I don't just pop pills. I would like to know what I'm putting into my body. And he advised me accordingly. Ladies at the cashier desk, super friendly. Best pharmacist, best shop to come to.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
Good times is what life is all about. But sometimes heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux and UTIs can really put a dampener on our days. This summer, make sure you have citrus soda as your good health companion, relieving you of all heartburn, indigestion and UTI symptoms. Let's get back to feeling good. Citrus soda brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Ryan Park looked really, really proud, and they should be. What a fantastic pharmacy, and thank you to all our local pharmacies doing amazing things for the community. We appreciate you.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush, 100% goodness.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso here in S3, and let me introduce you to our performer for the day. Based in New York, award-winning pop star Jan Closer is a successful musician, singer, songwriter extraordinaire with the release of 7 studio albums and 2 EPs under his belt. He draws inspiration from life and love, amongst other things. His songs have a verified sound of uplifting energy, and if you want a taste, here it is.
I surrender, 'cause even the darkest night has to end, and I surrender, stepping into the light, it's do or die, I surrender.
Oh my word, that guy wasn't too bad. You see that guy, hey? He's not bad.
Yeah, it was okay.
No, I think it was
just okay.
It was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jan Closer. Yes, that's it.
Hello.
It's safe to say, let's get closer to Closer. This is going to be a quick chat. I just wanted to find out a bit more because, you know,
Yeah.
you are in South Africa. Welcome back. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Great to be back. Thank you.
I believe
great.
there's a 7th studio album. It's something of a surrender, isn't it?
It's called Surrender, and yes, it's number 7. And if you would have told me that when I started out in music, I would have said, no way, man. You know, how are you going to do that? It's a lot of work, but I love it, you know, very lucky.
And just like the overall vibe of the 7th album, I mean, Surrender, it's quite an interesting name for an album. Are you surrendering to the arts, the music, the feeling, the vibe?
Yeah, it's not meant in a sense of giving up per se, but more of letting go and surrendering to something.
Okay.
Rather than the other.
And a bit of celebration as well, because you're about to perform Pour the Champagne.
Yes.
Now, it sounds self-explanatory, but like, what's this song about?
So this song I wrote with Karen Zoid at a songwriting camp right here in Cape Town.
Oh, nice.
A BMI songwriting camp a few years ago, and it became somewhat of a hit. You know, they play it on the radio all the time here, so it's wonderful.
This is fantastic. Well, Pour the Champagne.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. We need people to wake up a little bit, and that's why we have you here, Jan. So let's go for it. You ready?
Get a coffee.
Okay, grab yourself a coffee or just pour the champagne. It's Jan Closer.
I hear you talk about the future and how it's supposed to be. I watch you paint a picture, but what will be will be. You worry about tomorrow, you're lost in yesterday. Can we keep it in the moment? 'Cause we only got today. We got here, we got now, and if you want me to stay, don't save it for a rainy day. Let's break out the crystal and pour the champagne, pour the champagne. I'm making funny faces, I do what you do. Imaginary places, I visit them with you, yeah. Don't ever fight a feeling, it's just a part of you. Found your heart up on your sleeve and changed my point of view, as it did. Oh, we got here, we got now, and if you want me to stay, don't save it for a rainy day. Let's break out the crystal and pour the champagne now. Pour the champagne, spin it, pour the champagne, spin it, pour the champagne, spin
Come on, Jan, closer! Pour the champagne. That's the idea. Well, that's pretty early, but it doesn't matter.
Early, yeah.
Pour the coffee. We can amend a bit, but that's such a great song. It's celebratory in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And is this a song from Surrender? Is this one of those tracks?
No, this is actually from my last album, In Tandem, that I recorded here in South Africa.
Okay, it's a phenomenal song. It really is. There's a lot to it. But just to go to the tour, I know that something's happening. You are going to do a bit of a stop off here and there. What's the tour about?
So the main reason I'm here is to play Splashy Fen in over Easter weekend.
Nice.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I just played Café Roo here in Cape Town, in Noordhoek. And then I'm going to be in Johannesburg to play at the Academy of Sound Engineering, where I made In Tandem with the actual band that was on the record. So
that is fantastic.
Yeah, we're looking forward
and I
to
mean,
that.
South Africa itself, you know, thoughts, feelings, you love it?
I mean, I love it here. You know, I grew up here, so it always brings me back to my childhood. And I mean, the Cape is beautiful.
Thank you.
You have to. There's no denying that. You know, and everybody that lives here, you know, like when I got picked up from the airport,
Yeah.
and I drove in the car, and I just had this moment, which I do every time I come here.
That happens.
And the driver said, I think I need to leave more often so that I can have that same moment that you just had.
That's
So
the
there
only
you go.
reason why we do leave. We leave so we can come back and you can see the mountain and have that aha moment, which is great. Have you picked up on any of the local lingo? Because usually when people see you, they're like, hey, Jan, lekker man. You
Lekker,
know?
I know lekker, of
Okay, you know
course,
lick, that's
which
fun.
is delicious.
Yes, and also...
Translated, but also means cool, and it means everything. It means good morning, doesn't it? It means everything, doesn't it?
There are a few words that have that, but I
Yeah.
can't teach all of them to you on national TV. But it is, I mean, throughout the course of the show, I'm going to drop some more words
Please.
in there, okay?
Shop, that's the one. I
Shop
love that
is lit.
one.
That's
I
good.
love that one.
All right.
That's cool. That's
well,
a cool
more
word.
coming your way. Trust me, it is going to be one of those lekker mornings with your Feel Good Breakfast Show with Jan Closer. But let's get on to the news of the day. Here's Graham.
Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen. We are coming to you 2 minutes before the top of the hour with our national news. First, let's start here in South Africa, where the SA Communist Party, or the SACP, has called on the government to speedily withdraw from the International Criminal Court, or ICC. This comes after the ICC in The Hague decided to issue an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, the SACP's Deputy National Chairperson, Thulas Nxesi, says the party is of the view that the ICC and the US have double standards. He added, quote, the US is not a member of the ICC, but wants to subject other countries to the ICC. That's really double standards. And staying here in South Africa, the Black Business Council has now joined other groups strongly criticizing the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, because of his decision to partially exempt Eskom from the state institution's mandatory disclosure of expenses. Now, the notification was announced in the Government Gazette, and this involves Eskom being exempt for 3 years from disclosing irregular spending not related to crime in its financial statements. Now, the chief executive of the Black Business Council, Hanki Marabane, said the decision was irrational, especially coming from Godongwana, who should be the custodian of clean government and accountability. Now, casting a much wider gaze, tackling the international or beyond news, the US space agency NASA has named the 4 astronauts who will take humanity back to the moon after a 50-year break. So Christina Koch, an electrical engineer, will become the first woman astronaut ever assigned to a lunar mission, and Victor Glover, a US Navy test pilot, will be the first black astronaut on one. And they will join Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen to fly a capsule around the moon late next year or early in 2025. And they won't land on the moon, but their mission will pave the way for a touchdown by a subsequent crew a little bit later on. And then staying on the technological front, but bringing it back down to earth, an Ivorian technology entrepreneur and smartphone designer has now won the World Literacy Award for 2023, and here's why. So the award recognizes individuals and organizations annually for their outstanding endeavors that promote literacy learning. Alan Capo invented a smartphone that allows people to communicate in at least 16 of the languages spoken in the Ivory Coast. And he said he had made the phone for people who cannot read or write. Capo says what drives him is that he's seen firsthand the inequalities of education worldwide, and this inspired him to step up and make a very clear difference. Congratulations to him. Then festival goers have been converging on Oudtshoorn from far and wide for the 2023's Little Karoo National Arts Festival, the KKNK, which is in full swing up until the 9th of April. Artists are elated that this popular event at Oudtshoorn, unofficial capital of the Little Karoo, is back to normal after being cancelled in 2020 due to COVID-19, then held virtually in 21 and very much a limited size last year. This year, a jam-packed, multidisciplinary festival program is in the offing for young and old and everyone in between. There's free entertainment with impromptu performances, lots of music, and yes, delicious foods and drinks. From early morning to late at night, you are covered. And a major first this year is a youth arts festival presented in collaboration with the Western Cape Department of Education, aimed at high school learners and teachers as well. A festival within the festival, hoping to cultivate interest in the arts amongst high school learners through music, theatre, dance, visual arts, topical conversations and more. It's basically like our show come to life. Oudtshoorn is the place to go. Go and support vocals from the locals and yes, enjoy some great food as well. Well, that's it for the news. Let's get back into the sport with Carl.
Let's take a look at the sport, shall we? Starting with cricket, Ruturaj Gaikwad and Moeen Ali start with the bat and ball for Chennai Super Kings as they pulled off a 12-run win over the Lucknow Super Giants in a high-scoring encounter. CSK batted first and scored 217 for 7. Gaikwad top scored for Chennai with 57 at the top of the order and was ably supported with his opening partner Devon Conway, who scored 47. Ali then starred with the ball, taking 4 for 26 as LSG only managed 205 in their chase. So now staying with cricket, leading Australian female players are set to be the main beneficiaries of a new 5-year deal between Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricketers Association. Now all male and female professionals will share a projected 634 million Australian dollars over the next 5 years. Women will be paid from a 133 million Australian dollar pool, up from $80 million. A player who holds a top-tier contract and also plays in the Women's Big Bash League is now able to earn 800,000 Australian dollars a year. Leading players could earn more than 1 million Australian dollars if they also play in India's Women's Premier League and the 100. So good news for cricket remuneration. Finally, some equality. Now let's go with some football action. Michael Keane scored a stunning long-range strike in the 90th minute to salvage a Premier League draw for Everton against Tottenham in a game that saw both sides finish with 10 men. Keane stepped up from the back to arrow a 25-yard drive into the top corner and the point taking Sean Dyche's men out of the relegation zone. Harry Kane had given Tottenham the lead in the second half from the penalty spot after Keane himself had fouled Christian Romero in the area, and Decore was sent off after an hour for shoving Kane in the face, while Mauro was shown a red card and there was a straight red moments before the equalizer. Now on to a very interesting merger deal. Combat Sports, WWE and the owners of mixed martial arts franchise UFC are to form a new £17.3 billion sports entertainment brand. The publicly traded company will see UFC owners Endeavour Group Holdings take a 51% controlling interest and existing WWE stakeholders, or shareholders I should say, 49%. The business will be led by Endeavour Chief Executive Ari Emanuel. WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon will fill the same role at the company, and Dana White remaining Ultimate Fighting Championship president. That is it for your sport. If you are heading out to work, here's some traffic updates, and Graham has all the news.
I was hoping Carl would change one or two of those sporting results. Let's hope we can bring an upturn in the traffic news for you. Now, there are a few incidents to be aware of. Let's start in Kells River in Cape Town. Heavy congestion, unfortunately, on the R300 North at the N1 inbound ramp. You can see there, expect delays and allow for more travel time, please, today. In KwaMashu and KZN, there are ongoing roadworks on the N2 bi-directional. That's between KwaMashu and Mhlanga interchange. There are restricted lanes, so please allow for more time on those roads as well. Moving up north to Midrand in Johannesburg, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 northbound before New Road. Left lane is blocked. Please approach with caution. Just stay safe out on the roads. Let's get into the weather. A bit of turn for the books. An item of positive environmental news from Europe is that countries of the European Union, the EU, have now approved a landmark law that will ensure all new cars sold from 2035 must have zero emissions. So the agreement was delayed for weeks after Germany called for an exemption for cars running on e-fuels. Now, e-fuels are said to be carbon neutral because they use captured CO2 emissions to balance out the CO2 released when the fuel is combusted in the engine. Seems to balance out. Now, the new law had been expected to make it impossible to sell internal combustion engine cars in the EU as from 2035. However, the exemption won by Germany will now help those with traditional vehicles. Passenger cars and vans are responsible for about 12 and 2.5% respectively of total EU emissions of CO2, the main greenhouse gas the European Commission has said. Now we move to your sunrise views, and thank you to Andrew Harris, who sent in this shot of Belito, showcasing the tangerine view from the back of his home, enjoying some warm tones in the sky. Beautiful. And Mr. Joe and Mamsen Toti sharing an outstanding photo. Oh, look at that, standing from the top of the hill, enjoying the views overlooking the beach. Oh, that's how you want to start your day. Then Jackie in the Wild Coast, embracing the fresher mornings, watching the wispy clouds move with the wind. Beautiful there. And then last up, Prakash out in Durban. Oh, that's how you start your day in style. Another incredible video, this one capturing a cruise ship coming into the harbor to pick up everyone for what I'm sure will be the most amazing, wonderful holiday abroad. Bon voyage. Thank you so much. Keep those morning views coming. 063-408-8863. All right, let's get into some of your temperatures for today. Starting in Polokwane, 14 your low, going up to 27 degrees with a 25% chance of rain. In Mpombela, 15 is your low, going up to 25. Expect some rain there, 70% chance. In fact, Pretoria, 12 your low, going up to 28 degrees. Johannesburg, ranging between 10 and 26. Mahikeng, 10 and 29. Klerksdorp, your low, 10, going up to 27 today. Kimberley, 9 your low, going up to 26. Bloemfontein, ranging between 6 and 25 degrees. Expect a 66% chance of rain in Richards Bay, where you kickstart your day on 18, going up to 25 degrees. Moving inland, Pietermaritzburg, 14 your low, going up to 24 degrees. Durbs, 18 your low, going up to 25. Mthatha, ranging between 11 and 22. East London, 15 and 23. Cradock, your low, 9, going up to a high of 24. Gqeberha, 13 your low, going up to 24 degrees today. And George, ranging between 12 and 23. Moving to the mother city, moderate, 14 your low, going up to only 23 degrees. Worcester, ranging between 12 and 29. Sutherland, your low, 9, going up to 24 degrees. And Uppington, 12 degrees is where you start your day. A moderate by your standards. 31 is where you max out during those peak hours. Just look after yourself, stay out of the sun. But regardless of the weather, make sure it's a beautiful day.
It's going to be a beautiful day, of course, and I know this may seem strange, but there's actually a shortage of snakebite antivenom in South Africa, and we have to chat about this. We brought in the professionals, and of course, there's a friend that wants to say hi to you. Is our friend sleeping? Just I want to make sure.
No, he seems to be up and at
Okay,
it.
is he up and happening? That's the thing. This is what we do here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Bring you closer to these beautiful animals and creatures. So if you have any questions, this gentleman will be taking us through with our special guest on your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on Expresso.
It's Easter winnings with Citro Soda, as they give you the chance to win a cash prize of 5,000 Rand. All you have to do is answer the weekly competition question on our Expresso Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages using hashtag #CitroSoda and hashtag #ReachForRelief. T's and C's apply.
my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here at S3, and we love making Easter extra special,
We
don't
do,
we?
eh?
Yeah.
We absolutely do, especially for the little ones. We do it.
The little ones. When you say little ones, are you saying the younger people?
The
right?
younger children.
Okay, thank you.
We do often have younger children, little ones on set, okay? It's a great way to keep them entertained, create fascinating memories, and the best part, you don't have to break the bank to do it.
Perfect. Now, the Crazy Store, perfect for little ones, has got you covered with a wide range of affordable and fun Easter goodies that'll make your celebrations even more memorable. And this guy set up a variety of fun activities, and it went down a treat. Take a look
There was
at
a lot
the
of
little
chocolate.
ones.
A lot. Let's be honest. We love Easter. It's got to be one of my favorite times of the year. I mean, we've got the ridiculously cute bunnies. We've got truckloads of chocolates. And of course, the favorite, we have got the Easter egg hunt. But thanks to our friends from the Crazy Store, we're going to raise the stakes just a little bit and have the ultimate Easter obstacle course. You guys ready for that? Yes! I think they are ready for that. We are talking about an egg and spoon race with a difference, a little bit of a twist. Chubby bunny, but with a whole lot more chocolate. And then the most ridiculously difficult Easter egg hunt you've ever challenged yourself with. Bunnies, are you ready for Easter? Yeah! Come on! It is time for the egg and spoon race, and it's going to get difficult. So you guys have got a little helping hand here in a bouncy egg, but it still has to stay on the spoon. The only rule, you got to get across that line with your egg still on your spoon. If it falls off, back to the beginning. All right, my little bunnies, are you ready?
Yes!
You're going to start hopping in 3, 2, 1, go, go, go! Oh, no! That's some fierce focus there. Oh, those... Ah, beautiful stuff. We have our first challenge winner. Israel has laid down the marker. And that's the first time he's dropped his egg the whole day. Ah, well done, buddy. On to the next one, my friend. Let's go! Busy bunnies bouncing! You made me bounce. All right, so that's the phrase. Now we're going to play a little bit of chubby bunny. I'm going to give you a chocolate, you're going to say it. I'm going to give you a chocolate, you're going to say it. And we're going to go down the line, then I'm going to start again. Yeah, you must put it in and you don't swallow it, eh? All right, bunnies, are you ready?
Yes!
Take one, put it in your mouth. Tell me the words, busy, bunny, bouncing. Say it.
Bunny bouncing. Busy, bunny bouncing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Don't swallow that chocolate.
Busy bunny's bouncing. Bunny bouncing.
Okay, don't chew your eggs.
Bunny bouncing.
+9 is... Take 2, put them in your mouth. Give me the phrase that pays. Okay.
Busy, bunny bouncing.
Really?
Busy, bunny's bouncing.
Nice.
Busy, bunny's bouncing.
Huh?
Bunny bouncing. Busy, bunny bouncing. Busy, bunny's bouncing.
Boom. I think we've reached our limit.
Bunny's bouncing.
Boom. And he owned it. I think let's give him a round of applause. I think everyone here is a winner. The Crazy Store have democratized these days for us. They've made it accessible to be able to create an experience. Yes, you get the great chocolate, that's a part of it, but it's the experience. You've got costumes, you've got baskets, you've got decor, you've got so much to create the illusion that my mom created for me when I was a kid. And you don't have to be a fine artist to do it. You can just walk into the Crazy Store. There is so much going on at the Crazy Store when it comes to Easter. I have a feeling people are going to see Easter in a very different light. This is the most important information, okay? Because there's a lot of chocolate out there, guys. There are some amazing Easter treats. There is even a fluffy bunny, and it is beautiful, and it's so soft. It is, each one of you could have your own, but here's the deal. There are 10 secret stations. Every station, there will be 10 things hidden around. You've got to take one from each station, okay? Just one. So if you find 10 things at one station, how many are you going to take?
1!
The first person to get back to this spot right here where I am will be our ultimate Easter champion. And you're going to say it after me. I pledge
I pledge
to have the most fun ever.
to have the most fun ever.
All right, gang, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do this thing. Look after each other, support each other. Go find me some eggs. Go, the hunt begins. Go, 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 go. Look for those clues, guys. Look for the clues. There's pointers everywhere. Come on.
I found our thing!
Woohoo! Izzy, you beaut. What was the secret to your success?
It was just about concentrating on the prize. I think this was actually the best Easter I've ever had so far. Favorite part was Easter collecting.
So Izzy is our reigning champion. Well done, son. He was absolutely amazing, but everybody has won today. Can you please give yourselves a little round of applause because you were all fantastic. They helped each other, they motivated each other, and they had so much fun. However you're going to be spending Easter this year, get into the Crazy Store. They have everything to create an unforgettable moment for you, and you guys are now part of my family, the Expresso family. So from us, it's a very happy Easter. Can we get the bunnies to wave goodbye? There we go. Happy Easter, everybody! Happy Easter! Oh man, they say never work with kids and animals, or me, okay? But when you combine us all together like that, spectacular. Linka, I'm missing you, little one. They were absolutely amazing. I got to say, all of those kids were just so much fun to spend time with. That is how you do Easter, my
Exactly. So the Crazy Store's got your back, of course, when it comes to that. So make it a special Easter. You know where to go.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.
So here we go. This is what we need, right? From a nice Easter egg hunt, we need something inspired. And I'm talking about Mallows S'mores Toasties. Take a look at this. And we got the perfect person to do it right here. Somebody who is an academic mom who has joined me. Kerotse, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm so great. I just saw bread and chocolate and I got excited because this is a Mallows. We got a s'more toasties. Is that what it's called, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
S'mores toasties.
S'mores toasties is what I'm talking about right here. So your experience, obviously, in this particular realm, making things fun for the kids in the kitchen, you know, and also being an academic mom too, so almost lecturing them in a way to make the best out of every meal. How does this go? Like, what's the idea here?
This is a perfect recipe because number one, it's school holidays.
Thank you.
Number two, we are trying new ways of making it fun for the kids to bring in a bit of, you know, bread that they eat every day.
Yes.
But also the nice chocolate that they always enjoy. Favorites being the Easter egg. The Mallows is a big, big family favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
Mallows. That's, I mean, this is what should be hidden when it comes to Easter egg hunts as well. I almost feel like it should be like a public policy to have Mallows all over the place for massive Easter egg hunts, right?
And they sell out from the beginning of March up until April. You'll see all parents walking out of stores with a box.
We should actually just normalize the fact that we should just eat that all year round. But so how do we get started? Let's go through it. If there's anything I can help you with, I'm right here, or I can watch. You
all
tell
right,
me.
perfect. So you are going to need 4 slices of white bread.
Perfect.
And then have 4 tablespoons of butter, and obviously our favorite Mallows, Easter egg, and then any white chocolate, and then you have your biscuits, a bit of cinnamon, as well as 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And as easy as that. So we are going to butter our bread and obviously grill it. And the grill gives it a bit of a char.
Yeah.
So,
and I like a good char. Especially when it comes to sweet things, you want a bit of a char, a bit of like, almost like the bitterness of the char and the sweetness, they kind of collaborate a bit you know?
Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly.
I love that. If you want to grab yours, I would say Game is the #1 shopping destination for all your Easter confectionery needs this year. You can go wild with your marshmallow eggs this Easter. Put them in the fridge so that their chocolate shell goes extra hard and cracks when you bite into them. I'm already wanting to do that. And you can actually microwave them and have that little melty egg as well, which is always great. So this is fantastic.
For those who do not want to grill, they can definitely use a sandwich press or a waffle iron. So I think it's
a
much
waffle
more
iron. Now we are talking.
Exactly, you know. So kids love different shapes, different tastes.
This is
in
great.
whichever form. So my kid always loves to mix up things and challenge me to try new things. So this Easter Game obviously is a store that I love because obviously I love saving, and their unbeatable prices are like crazy.
And that's it. And I love their price beat promise, you know. You know, the way you can actually just almost go to a place that's always going to say, hey, we want to make things easy for you.
Exactly.
You know, you could go and find some other items, but if we can hook you up at a cheaper rate, we got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we always want to save a bit of cents this Easter because kids eat chocolate all the time.
Agreed.
It's best to just go where you are able to get the best price. And I think that's where we are.
That's
so
it.
right now,
Okay.
we are going to toast the bread.
Oh, that is getting the party started right there.
We
That's
are
what I'm talking about.
definitely getting the party started.
Great, this is
Hopefully
fine.
all of them can fit here, but I think it's nice that we're starting, and then you can assist me there.
I'm going to assist you
to
here
mix,
because you know what I need to do?
to take the perfect.
I got your back.
Perfect. Thank
I
you.
light fires.
You see,
every
you
now
see.
and then.
Normally
So-
I have my little assistant, but
Well, I am your little
today-
assistant, okay? I am right here. I'm your little assistant. I'm here for you. That's it. So here's the
you
thing,
can mix.
Karotse. We asked some of the crew and all of you at home how you eat your mallows, and you can tune in tomorrow to find out exactly what they said. I did a bit of investigative journalism, which I love doing. You know, no, I put them to the degree, and they were like, "How do you do it?" And you should see how weird the answers were. I love that. You're going to see that tomorrow on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But for now, you're opening something so heavenly. Really, what's it called?
Chocolate. So it's a white
Oh, it's
chocolate.
called what?
Heavenly
Oh, of
white
course so.
chocolate, a beacon, obviously. I love this. Why not double the chocolate? So you have chocolate here, you have chocolate here. So this is
good.
perfect.
Okay.
What you do is you just need to break it in pieces.
Yes.
This will also go into our toasties, mellow.
Ooh, yes.
So this is perfect. Kids love it, and they always steal a bit of chocolate
And
as
so
we
if we
start
were,
cooking.
if we were to fast forward the assembly for a second, so once those come off, all right, then from there we've got our mallows, okay? So
Mallows,
are we
yes.
going to throw 2 of them on top of a slice of bread?
So
Please
you
say
are
it
going to
so.
take out the bread, put it
Yes.
here. Please mix for me, like we said. We're going to put that onto the toast, then
Right.
put the mellows and the chocolate, and we're going to do a nice little
Well,
sandwich.
let's do it like a fast-forwarded version of it.
Okay,
Let's just say
perfect.
the kids are super, like, say they need something now. They're like,
Mommy, please, Mommy, please give me a chocolate, please, Mommy.
and then you have to go quickly. So what would you do? You'd go, you grab the bread, you plonk it on here. There we go.
Let's
Please don't
quickly
burn
put
yourself.
The bread.
That's it.
You can
Ooh,
take this
okay,
because
that's
we
fine.
are going to use the other side.
There.
Quickly.
And then we'll go, oh, this
Let's
is perfect.
Not burn, let's not burn.
Karotse, this is why you're the academic mom. You're an academic when it comes to these slices of bread. That's it. Lecture me. And then, boom.
And then we need to mix this quickly.
That's mixed cinnamon in there as well. Mixy mix.
Open this.
Okay, cool. You're opening that.
You know
while it's
us
mixed.
adults gobble this very
Yes, we
quickly.
do.
So
And
come
then-
on.
Okay, are we going on here?
Yes, quickly.
Woo, I love this.
You
This
can
is-
break it up in pieces if you want. Let me quickly help you. And there you go. It's easy as that. You can always double the trouble here.
I love that.
Add lots and lots.
And I like this
lots
because, you know,
and
we're
lots
doing that version of
chocolate.
when you are a parent and the kids are really wanting that snack and you want to just, you know, succumb. This is what you do. And then once you've done that, look at this. It's going on with those mallows. Oh, yes.
Use as much as you can because you can never get too much chocolate.
I'm using that. I was
Too
about
much
to
of
take the
chocolate.
last one.
And then close.
Yes.
And then you're going to bake this for 5 to 10 minutes in the oven.
And then that's going to be multi-melt.
Exactly.
That is what I'm talking about. This is fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to hold that. I just want to
you.
hold it while I chat to you about something very important because if you want to get your hands on this mouth-watering recipe, go to expressoshow.com and say, Easter la vista, baby. To high prices, instead a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Game Store shopping voucher. Here's the situation. You're late for an Easter party. That's why we did this so fast. So you only have 30 seconds to grab all the treats from game stores. Which Easter sweets will you fill your trolley or basket with? Don't forget to include hashtag #GotGame in your answer. Competition closes Monday, 10 April at midnight. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Hurry.
Let me eat this.
Yeah, you should.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso, and you're on S3 in case you're wondering. On to some eco news. We have a slithering treat in studio this morning for our nature lovers, and of course, Willem van Zyl from the African Snakebite Institute, the leading training provider of snake awareness and venomous snake handling courses in Africa, joins us for an education on some of the most venomous snakes found throughout South Africa. But first, we'll be discussing a more serious subject, and that is the current shortage of anti-venom. Willem, it's nice to have you. Of course, I know you brought a snake on a day where we're chatting about a lack of anti-venom, but what we need is understanding. But first and foremost, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
You know, for your company and who you work for, just give us a little gist as to what you guys do and why you exist.
Yeah, so we're the leading provider of venomous snake handling training and first aid for snakebite throughout Africa, as well as snake handling equipment. So what we do is we travel all over the continent.
Yeah.
We train the public, we train corporates as well on what to do if you find a snake on the property. How do you safely capture it? How do you relocate it? And if someone gets bitten, what you should do as well, and what you shouldn't do, because there's a multitude of myths and misperceptions about them as well.
So when it comes to this shortage of anti-venom,
yes,
I think it's important for us to understand what is actually going on. How could there be a shortage of anti-venom in the country?
Yeah, it's quite a big problem. So in South Africa, the SA vaccine producers create our antivenom. We've got 2 snake antivenoms, and they, from time to time, do have shortages, but usually within a couple of weeks, they catch up again.
Yeah.
But now, about 8 or 9 months ago, they pretty much stopped production completely. We suspect they haven't really produced anything since then.
Ooh, okay.
And they've given various reasons. They've said that they need to import some components that they can't get. They've blamed power outages. They've said that they're doing quality checks and things like that. But unfortunately, at the moment, the situation is that there's a severe lack of it. And in fact, most vets don't have antivenom at all. If you have a snakebite emergency, they say they will ship out antivenom to you, but that doesn't really help you if you're in the middle of the Northern Cape, say.
Yeah.
You get bitten on a Saturday night, the SAVP is closed on a weekend. So how are you going to get antivenom there?
Oh,
and there are other ways we can treat patients.
Yes.
So in a mamba bite, for example, where you have breathing difficulties, we can put patients on a respirator to help them breathe, but the only thing that really works properly, the golden standard, is antivenom. And with certain types of snake bites, like the cytotoxic snakes, the puff adders, that have a tissue-destroying venom. If you don't have anti-venom, you can't stop that tissue-destroying action.
Yeah.
And things like anti-inflammatories and antibiotics and so on, it doesn't help for the envenomation at all. So yes, it's a very big problem.
Well, if you don't mind, I actually have somebody on the line. We're joined on the phone by digital creator Tara Cortine Cannon, who has her own crazy stories of snake encounters to share. And the first story is of a snake in your front door, apparently. What was that like for you, Tara? First and foremost, good morning. Thanks for waking up for me.
Morning, morning.
So tell me about your snake encounter. We've got Willem here who can definitely tell you a bit more about it. But what is going on?
Look, that was one of the most scariest things I've experienced, because when you have a glass door and you see a shadow of a snake coming up from the bottom, I mean, we were held hostage in our home by the snake. We didn't go outside. We didn't leave. We waited until someone came to obviously capture the snake. We didn't want to leave or go outside because we didn't know how big it was. And then when Wade went upstairs to check from the window, you could actually see how big this actual snake was. We were like, okay, yeah, no, we're waiting inside.
It's crazy.
That's a no. Yeah, it was terrible.
I mean, that looks like quite a big snake, and then another in your complex as well. Like, I saw the car, like, was even worked on there to see, was that another snake? Goodness.
Yeah, there was quite a few. Because, look, we're very close to the farms out this side.
Okay.
So this is their natural habitat. And before the complex was built, this was their natural habitat. So it's like they're all emerging now, and it's the scariest thing ever.
That is crazy. Well, number one, I'm glad you're still here. And number two, for sharing that story. I think so many people had encounters, and I think what I can hear from you is that you didn't panic. You stayed where you were. You called the necessary authorities. I feel like you followed the process, and I think that's quite important. So if I were to just ask Willem, our expert over here, the way Tara responded here, is that what you're looking for when it comes to when you do see a snake? Stay calm, call the necessary handlers, and let them do their job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You should never try and deal with a snake yourself unless you know what you're doing and unless you have the right safety equipment.
Yes.
Don't try and catch a snake by hand. Don't pick them up by the tail or try and grab them behind the head like you sometimes see on YouTube.
That's TV,
It's very dangerous. It's excitement for TV, that's all it is.
Yeah.
So you keep your eye on it and you stay 5 meters away. If you're 5 meters away, then you're safe from any snake in SA, even the spitting snakes. Can't reach that far.
Ah, 5 meters, that's a good golden rule as well when it comes to snakes.
It's a golden rule. And you just keep watching them because they're very good at hiding. So you keep your eye on them, you call a snake catcher, and there are people all over the country that will come out and remove snakes for you.
Willem, thank you so much. We have another round of this conversation. If you have any questions, 063-408-8863. And if you do see a snake, remember that 5-meter rule. Even though Willem is not following that, that's the 5-centimeter rule. As this beautiful little snake is in his hand, we'll meet that little guy in the next couple of minutes.
It's a little egg eater. It's so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Well, if you've had a recent close encounter and need to escape your home and head to paradise, we want to help you do it. This hashtag Travel Tuesday with... What? What's going on? Buddy? Did you press something? Did I press something?
I was with the snake. Like I did.
My money's on the snake. Did the snake escape? Did the snake press something? What is going on? So yesterday, we saw palm trees popping up and flashing all over our studio.
Yeah.
Palm trees and waves today. Waves. Did you see that? Or am I losing my mind?
I don't know. It's quite interesting because there's not much to... Is it a clue of something?
What do you think, dude? Do you think something massive could be happening? We've gotten word that just rumblings, just an echo of an echo, a whisper of a rumor that something, yeah, exactly, Bru, that mysterious could be coming soon. And obviously now I need to know what's going on, dude.
Well, I mean, so far, lights going off, palm tree. I'm trying to put this thing together, though, and I feel like we need to find out exactly what it is. I mean, if you can guess what's launching soon, then let us know what you think it is. Do reply to the competition post on the Expresso, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages, and do include hashtag #ThatZeroFeeling to stand the chance to win 1,000 Rand.
I like the sound of that. We have no idea what it's about, but I'll tell you one thing. The competition closes 5 p.m. today. So you've got only today to help us figure this out. And you can find out all those terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. Something's coming, dude. Something.
What is it?
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and we're back in studio with the incredible Willem van Zyl from the African Snakebite Institute and the leading training provider of snake awareness and, of course, venomous snake handling courses in Africa for an education on South Africa's most common types of snakes and where to find them. So, Willem, welcome back. This beautiful snake I have in my hand over here, is there a name?
Yes, that's called a rhombic egg eater. They're one of our completely harmless species. They barely have any teeth, they've got no fangs, and they eat birds' eggs.
The snake is beautiful, pattern-wise as well. This is absolutely gorgeous. But I want to go into ASI. You have a snake app, which I believe is super useful for first aid tips and the do's and don'ts. Please take me through it.
Sure. So we have a free app that's available for iOS and Android.
Okay.
If you go to snakebiteapp.co.za, you can download it there. We've got just over 250,000 downloads now, I think. And in there, we've got first aid information. Yes. We have lists of snake catchers. So anywhere in the country that you are, if you open up the removals section, it looks at your GPS coordinates, and it tells you who's nearby to come and catch a snake for you. Same for hospitals. If you need a hospital, we show you which hospitals are nearby. Or if you're traveling around, you can open up our local species feature and it will tell you which snakes occur in the area that you're in.
What a great app. That's like the Tinder for snake catchers. It was crazy.
The Tinder for snake catchers, yeah.
Swipe right. Oh, my word. But I feel like when it comes to these beautiful creatures, misunderstood as always. But if I think about the species, 176 odd species or so.
175.
Around that, but also the most common ones. Yes. I think it's quite important to note. So is this a common snake in South Africa?
The egg eaters are quite common. You find them all over the country.
Okay.
We've got a couple of different species of egg eaters, but they're all harmless. And then in the Western Cape, in Cape Town, for example, you quite often see boomslang, puff adders, and mole snakes.
Okay.
Which are dangerous, but then by far there are more harmless species. There's your brown house snakes, your aurora house snakes, all your sand snakes and your whip snakes and your scarp stickers. Most of the snakes you would find out there are probably going to be harmless.
Well, we've got some images. Do you mind identifying these snakes? I'm going to drop them on. This is not a test, don't worry.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to throw some. So what is that?
That is a brown house snake.
That's the one you mentioned now.
Yeah, you can ID them by the white lines that they've got through their eyes.
And this one?
That's a common slug eater.
Okay, and is that a harmless one?
Harmless one as well. It just eats slugs and snails, no venom.
Beautiful.
That's a tiger snake.
Ooh.
Quite beautiful with those bright orange eyes.
Gorgeous, actually.
They're one of our mildly venomous species, which means they have venom, but it only works on their prey. It doesn't do anything to humans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then over there we have a snouted cobra.
Oh, is that? I believe that's a bit more dangerous.
That's a bit more dangerous. You find them up in Gauteng. That's a green mamba over there, and you only find those in a very thin strip of coastal dune forest in KwaZulu-Natal.
Moisture, heat.
The humidity.
Enjoy, right?
Quite like the humidity.
Enjoy that. And this one over here?
That's a spotted bush snake. So you find them in the Western Cape from around Sedgefield, further east, and then they're prevalent in Limpopo, for example. Also completely harmless.
And this is also from Limpopo, this one over here. Who's this?
Yes, that's a little herald snake. They used to be called red-lipped heralds because they sometimes have a red upper lip.
Yeah.
But we changed the name because they don't always have that. They're also one of our mildly venomous species, but not harmful to humans.
Beautiful. I'm having fun with this one. I'm sorry, this one's really. I'm getting a bit closer here to my new child.
Yeah,
but
I think it likes the body heat.
Do you have any ideas in terms of just the venomous snakes and identifying them? Are there any key pointers? I mean, you mentioned those snakes, that's beautiful, but for anybody who wants to identify them, number one, and then number two, immediate best, call of action, what do you think? So just give us, number one, venomous snakes, how to identify them. Yeah. Two, quick thing to do if you do see one.
So there are a lot of myths that do the rounds on the internet on how to identify venomous snakes. There's a cartoon that often goes around, for example, saying that you look at the pupil shape. And if it's got round pupils, it's harmless. If it's got slit cat eye pupils, it's dangerous. That's not true at all. There are stories about checking the underside of a snake's tail to see what the scales look like.
Heard that too?
I mean, who's going to pick up a snake's tail if you see a snake to see whether it's venomous or not? And it doesn't work. Anyway, it's not correct. So the only real way to tell whether a snake is dangerously venomous or not is being able to identify the species, which can be quite tricky. So the golden rule generally is keep your distance.
Okay.
If you're not 100% sure, keep your distance from the snake. Some things you can look out for is a snake that makes a hood. is generally a venomous snake. Snakes that blow up their necks to look larger, they're often venomous snakes.
Okay.
And then the longer snakes, any snakes approaching or over 2 meters in length, be careful of them. They tend to be dangerous as well.
And 5-meter rule. Let's remind everybody of that.
5-meter rule.
And your app, which is the snake. So what's that app again?
It's called ASI Snakes, and you can find it at snakebiteapp.co.za.
Perfect. There it is. All the details on screen. Remember, these are creatures. They are so beautiful. If you do get a chance, try and do the reading, understand them as well. If you see a snake near you, 5-meter rule, and call the necessary authorities. More importantly, let's look after them. And thanks a lot to Willem once again for giving us some of the details around snakes. Always a pleasure. I'm going to enjoy this guy while you enjoy some cooking. We're going to the kitchen.
Yep, thankfully the 5-meter rule does not apply in our studio, so Carl can come and join me because we're going to make something special. When it comes to Samis, there is really one person that does it so well. I'm talking about Salt Hank. If you haven't found him yet, you need to. With over 3.4 million followers over his social media platforms and sitting on around 44.4 million likes on TikTok alone, let's take a little gander. Take a look at this.
Okay, hold for big announcement. Yummy sandwich. Wow, 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 looks so good. Hold for big announcement and...
Get out.
So
Get
this
out.
guy.
Thank you for washing your hands.
What? No, we're
after
under cooking.
the close encounters of the slithering kind. Beautiful, beautiful discussion. Absolutely love that, but loving the idea of making this sandwich now. You know he is going to make a sandwich that is worth all the hype, so we're going to have to live up to that. It is the fried tomato sandwich. Let's get some inspiration. Take a look. Just look at this puppy. Oh my, it's the oozage, the squeegage, and the crunchage. Okay, so we've got the basil editing. We got a nice tomato sauce going there with the mozzarella in it. Oh my goodness, and we got the fried tomato. I think we can do this, boy. I think we can, eh?
Oh, my word.
How excited are you? The oozage.
I'm all about the oozage, man. This is great.
It is crazy. So there are 3 stations here that we need to manage. We've got the basil pesto.
Yes.
We've got the fried tomato, which is amazing. And then we've got this tomato sauce on a different level. We're actually going to melt the mozzarella into our tomato sauce. So we've got oozage, we've got crunchage, we've got a little bit of everything. So I figure, buddy, you probably need to start with the basil pesto.
All right.
With all of the usual suspects.
Take me through it, Chef.
Okay.
I want to know.
Buddy, this is pretty much the stock standard for creating a basil pesto. We've got, obviously, our beautiful fresh basil. We've got our pine nuts, we've got our garlic, we've got a bit of our stinky cheese, a nice hard cheese, pecorino or something along those lines, and a little bit of water to add as well if you need to when blitzing it up. And you can blitz away, my friend.
We're going to blitz this away.
Yeah, you're going to go crazy.
This is the most amazing thing in the entire world. This is great. Let's start off with how do we open the top? Like, just, thank you. I thought so. Look here, the thing is also, was there not a bigger blender? Are you doing this to me again?
That's the biggest blender we have in studio.
Whatever. You did this on purpose.
Well, you
Let's
start
give
working
Carl
on
the most technical blender and the smallest one I can find. Thanks, everybody.
You can make a little thimble of basil pesto to have as a side. No, there's ample basil pesto there. And this is the flavor profile, okay? We want it, it's Italian, it's fresh, but it's also indulgent at the same time. And that's where this tomato basil mozzarella combination. Okay, I'm going to start with the tomato sauce. So what we need here is a little bit of oil. And this is your stock standard kind of Italian tomato sauce vibe. But we are going to ramp it up a notch or two by adding our mozzarella to the sauce. So we're going to brown off our onions. We're going to fill the studio with the most delicious smells.
I'm doing this all in one. I just figured, you know what? If we're going to go in, we're going to go in.
Will all of it fit in there?
Probably. While I'm working with this, I have this switched off. Very important.
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure, don't try this at home if you are not going to have this unplugged. Plug it back in. All right.
I'm adding a little bit of heat, just a little bit of bird's eye chili. I'm not going to go all in because I know not everyone here likes the heat. Okay.
Who doesn't like the heat?
If you don't like the heat,
get out of the kitchen, yo.
The 5-meter rule. Let's turn this guy right down.
All right. Sorted.
There
Hey,
we
look,
go.
and I just to close it. How cool is that? You're proud of me.
Figure it out.
Now, next thing, I just switch it on. Thanks.
Let's do this.
You're
You
such a
can
good
do it.
person. Look at you go.
I feel like it should. Nicole, we need our resident foodie.
You see, this
Nicole,
is your joke.
you can do it.
This is your joke backfiring.
This
you
is,
know that.
yeah,
Thank
this
you,
is my
Nicole.
karma.
No, this is it. You wanted to
There we
find.
go,
There you go. Just a move.
And I push it out. There we go.
Thank you. Love you. This
really
is you
do love you,
backfiring.
Nicole.
You're like, let's find Carl the smallest blender. I have an idea.
This is my karma. Has come back. And then here's the key, guys. So obviously we want these tomatoes to, the onions to have cooked down a little bit more. We are putting the mozzarella balls in, and we're going to melt them down and let that sauce just become absolutely amazing. How's our basil looking there?
It's looking stunning. Honestly, it is. I just want to make sure it's oiled up a little bit more.
Okay, so
and
our
I just want to
sauce
remember.
It's going to cook down.
Well, maybe it's a little touch of that.
And now the fun stuff.
Okay.
And this is where we get really funky, is with our crispy fried tomatoes. Okay.
Do it.
So a little bit of flour, a little bit of egg, a little bit of panko crumb, and you're ready to rock and roll. And then we
Is that it?
And we repeat and then fry, guy.
Oh, my pesto is doing so well here.
It looks beautiful.
My baby blender.
Buddy, I've been meaning to ask, are you scared of snakes?
Eh?
Are you scared of snakes,
No.
or are you okay with them? Jeez, because I didn't even ask you before that session.
No, I love snakes. I honestly love all those creatures. It's beautiful. That's why I was holding that beautiful egg catcher. This is such a stunning.
Okay, look at this. So now we're going to start putting the fine little pieces together, and then we will compile this gorgeous sandwich in just a moment. I'm going to start frying off these beauties, get a bit of oil in the pan, and when we return...
Tomatoes. This is so good.
It's magical, man. It's absolutely
and
magical.
also the sauce you made with that mozzarella. Oh, my word.
Get a bit more oil in there.
It's so good. We're going to give this a taste a little bit later. I'm going to let everything set up as well. Cheese is melting, pesto's done, tomatoes going. This is great. It really is.
It's going to be spectacular, and if you've done this for yourself at home, we do need to see the results. We want to know, what are your favorite ingredients on a toastie? Let us know on our social medias as we set this beautiful sandwich up. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Just needs to melt. Oh, look at that.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Vai. O Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So, Florence.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gatle, gatle. We're Italian. That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
Unlock your 100% this Wednesday evening at 7:30 as we meet a young, inspiring female farmer who dreams of educating others and sharing her message of sustainability.
Guys on the farm was just like, okay, you look like a farm Barbie right now. That's farm Barbie. It's a real blessing when you find a worm in your soil. So well done. Very exciting.
Follow Thashni Manju on her journey to becoming a farming influencer. Let's unlock your 100% every Wednesday evening at 7:30 on SABC2.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for keeping it locked as we return to chill and chat with a pop star musician, Jan Klosser, now friend of the show.
Yeah, man.
How would you describe yourself? Because listening to you earlier, and I mean, your voice is just magical, especially at this time of the day, just incredible. So much light and shade. There is such a strong folky feeling there that just evokes emotion. How would you describe your music?
You know, I try to stay away from doing that.
I love that.
Because I don't know if it's such a good idea, you know. I love working with genres. I love working with different artists. I like writing with people from all kinds of backgrounds and styles. And to be honest, I look for musical styles that I don't know.
Oh, wow.
You know, I try to discover new instruments. I try to discover new styles all the time. But I think, you know, growing up here in South Africa and, you know, now living in the States, and I think I grew up listening to a lot of American rock, a lot of British rock, but also a lot of African music, you know. So it's really very, very quite broad.
Eclectic, and I love that.
Yeah.
I know it's a term we use a lot, but there is a reason why. And I love the fact that you've got this kind of, you represent a global village, and we really are connected now like we've never have been before. Pilot Light.
Yeah.
That evokes an emotion immediately. Just very quickly, what does the song speak to?
Well, it's a breakup song, you know, but it's kind of that, like, it's also full of hope, you know, of trying to maybe rescue something or rescue a situation and try to come out the other side and be all right.
Because there is always hope.
Always.
Always hope.
Always. There has to be.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to once again light up our studio. Jan
you,
Klosser in your feel-good studio. Here is Pilot Light.
I didn't want to tell you no, there's no other place to go from here, from here. Water wells behind my eyes, I don't want to say goodbye. You hear, but I did everything I could, yeah. And I'm afraid you're gone for good, yeah. Pilot light, don't go out on me, don't leave me in the dark. Pilot light, burn all night, don't ever lose the spark. Feel the rain come down on me, driving hard but I can't see the road. The road. Looking up, I'm looking down, all alone in this big town I go. I go, but I wish I could change the rules. Heart is aching with you in it. I don't want to be the fool. Mind is aching every minute. Pilot light, don't go out on me, don't leave me in the dark. Pilot light, burn all night, don't ever lose the spark. Through the wind and the water, through the wind and the water, Pilot light, don't go out on me, don't leave me in the dark. Pilot
Absolutely beautiful Pilot Light on the album Surrender. Download it right now. I know that would have offered a glimmer of light to a lot of people because the music matters now. It matters so much more, man. Thank you so much. What a blessing to have him here. One more performance coming away. Don't move a muscle. Let's get back into the news.
Thanks a lot, G. Just after 8 o'clock, let's take a look. Starting nationally, the Sebokeng Hospital in Gauteng has performed brain surgery for the first time in 40 years. In fact, over 40 years. This after a neurosurgery unit was recently established there. A team of this unit performed surgeries on 2 patients with subdural hematoma, also known as bleeding on the brain. Previously, Sebokeng Hospital had referred patients in need of brain surgery to the Chris Hani Baragwanath Academic Hospital in Johannesburg. Gauteng Health spokesperson Motalatale Modiba said the surgeries had been successful. Now, the South African Communist Party, the SACP, has called on the government to speedily withdraw from the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. This comes after the ICC in The Hague decided to issue an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin. The SACP's Deputy National Chairperson, Tulas Kgesi, says the party is of the view that the ICC and the US have double standards. He added, and I quote, "The US is not a member of the ICC, but wishes to subject other countries to the ICC. That's really double standards." On to international news. The UN Human Rights Office says it's still extremely worried about the impact of the UK's government plans to send some migrants to Rwanda if they arrive in the UK through illegal routes. UK Home Secretary Suella Braverman has insisted that Rwanda is a safe country for migrants. She said that she believed that Rwanda policy would have a significant deterrent effect so that people would stop making the journey across the channel to the UK. But the UN Human Rights Office said assessments done by the UN Refugee Agency showed that the asylum system in Rwanda was, quote, not robust enough. Now, news out of this world. The US space agency NASA has named the 4 astronauts who will take humanity back to the moon after a 50-year gap. Christina Koch, an electrical engineer, will become the first woman astronaut ever assigned to a lunar mission. And Victor Glover, a US Navy test pilot, will be the first black astronaut on one. They will join Reed Wiseman and Jeremy Hansen to fly a capsule around the moon late next year or early in 2025. They won't land on the moon, but their mission will pave the way for a touchdown by a subsequent crew. Now on to an inspiring story. No matter how old you are, 89-year-old Japanese surfer Saiichi Sano was recently named the world's oldest person to surf by Guinness World Records. Sano said he was inspired to take up surfing shortly after he had climbed Mount Fuji. I know that wasn't 50 or 60 years ago, as one may have expected, but only a mere 9 years ago. That's right, Sano learned to surf at the grand old age of 80. The adage, "You're never too old to learn something new," has never rung more true. And Sano said, and I quote, "I work with a bank manager who has really tanned skin, and I thought he may be a golfer. But when I asked him, he whispered, 'I surf.'" 3 days later, he went surfing for the first time and was instantly hooked. Sano now surfs all year round. He says he wishes to surf until he's 100 years old. And all we can say here is that you are never, ever too old to try something new or follow your dreams. Remember that. As I leave you from the news desk, traffic and weather coming your way, here's Graham.
Thank you so much, Carl. Let's start our traffic report in Soweto. There's been an accident involving a bakkie and a bus. That's at the corner of Khumalo and Mtipa Road in Orlando. Please try to use an alternative route if you can until the incident has been cleared. Moving down to Cape Town, the mother city, there's been an accident on the N1 inbound at Monte Vista. The center lane is now closed. Expect massive delays and please approach that area very carefully. Then back up north to Menlyn in Pretoria, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound after Atterbury Road. That's going to cause delays. The right lane is affected. Slow-moving traffic, so please approach carefully. Then going back to Mpangeni in KZN, there was a very hectic storm yesterday. You would have seen visuals of that surfacing. Many reports of terrible damage and extreme winds. Some said it felt like a tornado. You can actually see cars being blown around. So we are sending love and support to everyone in the area affected. Please keep us updated. If you have any videos, photos that tell the story that needs to be seen, please let us know. Well, speaking of the weather, let's get into some of that weather news now. Well, this morning, we dive 8 kilometers deep into the ocean for our environmental news. So scientists have filmed a fish swimming at an extraordinary depth in the ocean, making it the deepest observation of this nature that has ever been made. That is incredible. The species, a type of snailfish, was filmed swimming at 8,336 meters below. It's pretty much as deep as it gets, and the juvenile snailfish was filmed by a camera system attached to a weighted frame released from a ship, the DSSV pressure drop. And bait was added to the frame to attract sea life. This led scientists, the lead scientist rather, said that the snailfish could be at or very close to the maximum depth any fish can survive. At 8 kilometers down, they experience 800 times the pressure than at the ocean's surface, but their gelatinous bodies help them survive, clearly. And the DSSV pressure drop and its crew-capable submarine, the limiting factor, were used by the American adventurer Victor Vescovo in 2018 and 2019 to visit the deepest parts of Earth's 5 major oceans. Amazing that we are still discovering these things now. Now let's discover what the skies look like above your neck of the woods. Let's start with this contribution from Kiara Govender. Beautiful, showing off views in Chatsworth with palm trees to a rose-filled sky. Perfect view to start the day. Thank you for that. Samaya in Wynberg, blazing up the sky, watching the clouds moving up each wispy cloud today. Look at that. Wow, what a composition. Then Devin in Durbs showing off this view from his apartment. Oh, you're lucky, buddy. Just look at that, the sun peeking out over the buildings out in the distance. That's a city waking up. Blissful. Then last up, Blue from the Strand shared another exquisite, perfect sunrise photo. Calm waves this morning, pretty pastel tones out in the distance. Oh, enjoy that walk on the beach. We wish we were there. Thank you so much for sharing those views with us. Keep them coming. Send us videos, send us pics. We want to see what your world looks like. 063-408-8863. Well, let's see what your world is going to feel like today, getting into some of those temperatures, starting in Polokwane. Your low 14 going up to 27 degrees with a 25% chance of rain today. Then moving to Mbombela, 15 your low going up to 25 with a 70% chance of rain. Moving to Pretoria, you can expect a low of 12 going up to 28 degrees. To Johannesburg, 10 your low going up to 26. Mahikeng, 10 and 29. Klerksdorp, 10 and 27 your temperature range for the day. Kimberley, you start your day on 9 going to a max of 26. Bloem ranging between 6 and 25. Richards Bay, you can expect a 66% chance of rain as the temperatures fit in the slot between 18 and 25. Pietermaritzburg, your low 14 going up to 24. Durban, 18 your low going up to 25 degrees. Mthatha, 11 and 22. East London, your low 15 going up to 23. That heat tempered by an 80% chance of rain today. Cradock, your low 9 going up to 24 degrees. Gqeberha, 13 your low going up to 24 as well. George ranging between 12 and 23. The Mother City, 14 and 23. Moving inland to Worcester, 12 your low going up to 29 degrees. And in Sutherland, your low is 9 going up to 24. And Uppington ranging between 12 and 31 degrees. As always, though, regardless of the weather, make sure it's a beautiful day. I'll tell you right now, the smells coming out of that kitchen are making my mouth water so much I can hardly even talk. I think we must go there next.
That's because, G, we completed Salt Hank's challenge. And I want you to come through and join me because we need to taste. What we have is 2 of these incredible delights in front of us, and we'll show you exactly how it's done. We need to bite in. We haven't had breakfast yet, so why not? Come join me, please. Are you going to do the cut in half? You're going to do
Gqeberha just now because my mouth was moisturing so much. The smell, the thought.
Okay, I'm going to do a half cut here, and
okay,
I want the camera to come closer because I'm going to do what Salt Hank does. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I feel like we should be throwing stuff down.
Are you ready? Just check this out here.
Go for it.
Here it comes. Okay.
And squeeze. Oh. Come on, oozage. We wanted oozage, eh?
Oozage is there.
We wanted oozage.
Are you ready? I'm going
to do it together.
Together.
You might ride or die. Ching, ching. Bing. Hey, look how... Go. That does look spectacular.
It's like our show. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Especially today. Here we go.
Oh, mama.
We have to talk now.
And that made all the difference.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's the Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you,
and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, it's gonna get exciting and a little bit spicy. It's time to go off the record. Now, it's no secret, I try to make that as dramatic as I could. It's no secret that Hollywood's brightest stars have gone through great measures to maintain their youthful looks as they age. However, many have been disastrous and led to a few majorly botched results. Now, recently, there has been a trend with many of them reversing certain procedures. The most recent and probably most publicized being Black China, who has gone back to her birth name, Angela White. Well, today, our panel consists of media personality Carissa Cupido and medical doctor, intuitive and shamanic guide, Dr. Leda Sadin, to help us explore this trending topic from some very cool angles. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I might not seem like the most attuned person to talk about this, but I absolutely love this stuff. I'll drift down like the Instagram vortex.
Absolutely.
There is something about seeing where the world is right now that's just crazy. We are so polarized. There is this push almost to return to the individual, which has got to be a good thing for young people, but we need to understand what is going on first. So exotic dancer turned reality star Black China is no stranger to the spotlight. From the beef with the Kardashians, obviously, to her on-camera blow-ups, she has been dubbed Hollywood's most controversial figure, or at least one of them. And we have a recent news about her paints in a slightly different light. And I think maybe, Carissa, a good place to start is with you to explain to us the transition that this young lady is going through.
Of course, Miss Angela White, man. I absolutely love the 180 that she's done. It's been actually quite interesting to witness the change. And I would say even the growth. A lot of people, I don't know if they would agree and say that it's growth, but she really has gone from, if you can imagine, being a body double for Nicki Minaj in her music videos to, of course, creating an adult account on OA for OnlyFans, to make money for her kids that she has, and really has used her body as a way and a means to make
commercial,
money.
yeah, it's a commercial
for commercial gain. And now she has gone through a transformation of going, you know what, my wellness is important. I've found God, and I need to just make a change as to how I approach life. So she's gone ahead, I think she was under for like 9 hours to dissolve what was in her body. She's going through a process of dissolving what's in her face, and she's been, like you said, very public about this journey, which we haven't seen. The Kardashian did a reversal, and it was undercover,
yeah,
right?
but in a way, it speaks to where the world is right now, a gateway that we are maybe all going to be pushed through. But let's take a look at a certain interview that Angela did with TMZ as she now tries to explain why she decided to do it all. Take a look.
You know what, for me, honestly, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know? And I just honestly wasn't living my life right, so I was just attracting all this negativity, and I wanted to honestly dig deep and really see, like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I even here? Why am I here on earth? And just really find myself, because, you know, being in the industry for so long, you will lose yourself. So I wanted to get back to myself and, you know, become a better mom, a better friend, be more spiritual, more business savvy, and really show the real person that I am and not this persona that I was putting on.
Hey, don't mistake fame for success, not in a heartbeat. I love this. Maybe, Doc, I can put this, because I saw you nodding your head a few times there. There were a couple of beautiful affirmations. For me, what really jumped out, and this is something that seems to be the common thread with everyone, the why.
Yeah.
Maybe COVID gave us that. It forced us to ask ourselves the why. What about that little exchange gave you such positive, warm and fuzzy feelings? Because I could feel that energy.
I think the idea of coming back to oneself, you know, we get so lost in this colonization of beauty in the world, you know, like this is what beauty is supposed to look like. Yeah. And when you're living in a world where you're looking for self-love and validation and you want to be seen for who you are, it's so easy to jump on the bandwagon that says, well, it's very simple. You have high cheekbones and big lips and a big bum, and then you'll be loved.
Yeah, and you follow a trend on TikTok or Instagram, and you're going to get 500 likes, and suddenly you feel validated.
Exactly. Or you look like someone else who's now famous and validated. And then you go down that road and you lose yourself, and then one day you realize what you've been looking for all this time, you've actually been going in the wrong direction, and more of you is invisible.
I love the fact that there is a focus now on the individual and what makes us special in that space, because I can imagine how many disenfranchised, disconnected young people there are in the world, and I think a lot of this is a natural pushback to that. Celebrities' lives playing out in that way, so vocally, where it's so easy for a young person to catch on to a trend like that. When you see the flip side, are we going to see the same kind of viral uptake on people wanting to do this? Is this easy for us to jump on and say, okay, no, actually, because she's had the guts to do this, I'm going to return to my core, my natural being? Or is this just a blip on the radar? Are we going to see 1,000 more young women, young men pretending to be someone else on Instagram and TikTok to get that validation? How do you see this playing out?
I think that she set a really good example, and I also really love the fact that she was like, it's not that I was sick or anything like that that pushed me. It's the fact that I was finding myself, and I think at the core of it, that truly is what it is. There's a big push against, like you were saying, the colonization of beauty. I mean, if you think about beauty standards throughout the ages, it changes from decade to decade, and often for women, we fall trap, and we try to squeeze and manipulate our bodies.
Squeeze with whalebone and
you know, all these different things to fit a beauty standard that's forever shifting. So how are you enough when that's the standard, you know? So I think there's definitely a move towards anti-beauty, a move towards individual beauty, and I mean, shout out to Lizzo, a move towards self-beauty and expression of your own kind of beauty. I think that that's the direction, I'm hoping at least, that we're going in.
Well, the joy is we get to create it. We get to create it literally right now. You want to know what trends are going to be coming up in the future, you create them. That's how it works. And we love the fact that this conversation is happening from a different lens. If you have a personal perspective that you'd like to share about striving to connect with yourself, finding your own identity, getting your own name back, we'll talk about that in just a moment. We'd love to hear from you. 063 408 8863. This is how you address pop culture.
I love this conversation. It is fantastic. Let's keep it going, please. But let me distract you for a second. Easter would not be the same without the iconic Lint Easter range. Just look at this marvelous selection in front of me. It's beautiful. Now, the The Lindt Gold Bunny comes in different sizes. You need this in your house this weekend. 50 grams, 100 grams, 200 grams, that's yours. Then it also comes in different chocolate choices ranging from milk chocolate and dark chocolate to hazelnut, and is also available in a unique flower design if you want something a bit more zhuzh. Then Lindor mini eggs are also available in a 90 gram or 300 gram, available in milk and or sorted. Perfect for Easter egg hunts. In fact, I love placing these in the hard to reach spots. It's perfect for the kids at home or for the adults as well. We can Easter egg hunt too. And the limited edition Lindor Easter mix has 4 of the best flavors. We're talking milk and white, hazelnut, and salted caramel. That is the range, and it's great and easy to hide. So in the spirit of Easter, we are giving away a fantastic Lindt Easter hamper to the value of 1,000 Rand. We have hidden a Lindt Gold Bunny somewhere in the studio. Somewhere. Not sure if you can see it, but it's somewhere. Now, when you spot the bunny, reply to the competition post on our Facebook or Instagram page and let us know where you saw the Lindt Gold Bunny hiding. Remember to use the hashtag #MakeEasterMagical with Gold Bunny, and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Keep your eyes peeled, because you could be a winner.
Are you a rising star in the kitchen, ready to bake it till you make it? Then enter the new season of Tastemaster SA, brought to you by tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder on SABC2, where you could win 50,000 Rands worth of prizes and become a baking legend. Visit thetastemaster.co.za, share a video about yourself and why you love baking with Royal Baking Powder. Entries close on 23 April, T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's off the record today, so you can say whatever you want. No, you can't. It's still a safe place. It's still Breakfast TV, but we are having a lot of fun with this one. We are covering celebrities who have decided to reverse cosmetic procedures they'd had done. Most recently, obviously, we're talking about Black China, following the likes of Cardi B, Paris Hilton, some massive names. Some been quite public about it, some under the radar, like the Kardashians. Well, our panel, media personality Carissa Cupido and medical doctor, intuitive and shamanic guide Dr. Leila Sadin are back to unpack this conversation. Now let's take a look at the effects of cosmetic procedures and what it takes to reverse them. This is a big thing. This is a bit of a watershed moment in your life, Doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were on that side. You were that person, were you not? You were running, as I understand it, a very successful practice and have done a 180-degree turn, or have you? Please explain to us where you stand in your own life path.
Yeah, I mean, with aesthetics, when I started it, it was a beautiful healing modality. You know, you could take somebody through a complete transformation in how they felt about themselves. And so while I was exploring healing, it was an incredible way to build into my integrative practice.
Sure.
And then over time, as I navigated my own awakening and natural healing, and my practice became more of a natural medicine clinic, it was okay for a while because actually a lot of aesthetic medicine is still natural medicine.
Yeah.
You know, it's not actually chemical, it's not actually toxic, and so it was fine. But then I began to see that so many women who were coming because of that self-love thing.
Yeah.
And this was their quick fix, this was their symptom relief, you know? And when you can give someone such a rewarding drug to fill a deep, deep void, they keep coming back for more. So it's great for business.
Yeah.
But what does it do to the soul, you know? And so the integrity that I had to live with, I couldn't hold that anymore. And that's how it ended. But I say ended to a point where it evolved.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, it evolved.
And it has to, because there is, and I think this is part of the problem with being a human being right now, is there's good and bad in everything. The same things that are polarizing us are also giving young people an opportunity to completely change their life. So when we see something like this, and the fact that Black China's returned to her natural name, that in itself is a beautiful notion. What that means to her is probably only going to be known to her. But what it means to the rest of the world is, we're sitting, an opportunity for some guy in South Africa to sit and talk about this in a meaningful way. Do you think we're going to see this being taken on by other celebrities in that space, in the sense of them understanding that the world is watching? She knows that other young girls are watching her, other young black girls are watching her, and she needs to represent that. The most important being her own daughter. How important is this for young women and women in the celebrity space who often don't seem to have a choice?
Exactly. And I mean, it's hard for any woman, but of course we've got a very public-facing career being in the media and broadcasting space. I think you can't be what you can't see, right? Representation really matters. And to her daughter Dream, it's huge. I mean, I was telling Layla earlier that she was saying how she's a sponge and she just looks up to her mother in every single step that she makes. So she almost had a responsibility to do that. And I really hope that celebrities catch on to that responsibility too. A global responsibility of having a platform. It's not for everybody, of course. Some people have aspirational careers. Others really try to reach deeper. Again, to reference Lizzo, I think she's really taken that on beautifully and boldly to say that I'm enough, and in my fullness of my body, it is more than enough. Drew Barrymore's another example who has gone anti-aging, just refused any sort of Botox, etc. And it's really beautiful and encouraging for me to see, because I don't know what the next 10 years hold for my face, but just to have the options there for me is really great.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You got good genes, girl. So I'm going to have to get used to calling her Angela, but she did share more about her procedures themselves on her social media platforms. Let's hear from her directly.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm at the doctor's office right now, and as y'all know, I've been changing my life and changing my ways. So one of the things that I feel like is going to take me to the next level is obviously taking some of these ass shots out. And by the way, ass shots and a BBL is totally different, and I'm going to tell you why. A BBL is when they use your own fat. Ass shots is silicone. So I just want all the ladies out there to know, do not get silicone shots, because you can get sick, you can die, have complications, and all this other crazy stuff. I haven't had any crazy complications since I got it. I got it when I was 19 years old. But now I'm moving here in life. So I want this out of my ass so I can grow.
I love it, man. She's the only one who is allowed to say that on Breakfast TV, by the way, okay? Layla, I mean, we've got to see this. If I could ask you to depart us with some words here, if you look at the bigger picture, because I think that's very much the angle that you take now. What do you say to a young woman especially, I know there are young men going through this as well, but a young woman who is struggling with her own identity that might fall victim to following in the footsteps of a celebrity that, like many, has had to go back and readdress that before we start that journey? What do you have to say to that young person looking to find their true identity?
You know, we come back to the question why. Like, are you feeling, is there something going on inside of you that needs healing?
Yeah.
Right? And like, can we just move into that conversation around healing? Like, is it truly going to be healing for you to have a bigger bum?
Yeah.
In all of your integrity, in all of your being and your intention, you know, then it's sacred. Then go get the bigger bum, you know? But if you know that this is actually, God, I look in the mirror and I feel terrible about myself, or my daddy never loved me, or I can't find a boyfriend, or, you know, or I'm not good enough in the world, then there are so many avenues we can explore now around actually fundamentally healing that. Then heal that, and then go get the bigger bum, you know, or the lips, or the whatever. I think there's just this piece around it being a drug to cover up something else, right?
Completely, yeah.
And if we can get beyond that and then go, okay, well, you know, someone might have a really small, skinny, terrible bum. It might feel great for her to have a bigger bum. Then, of course, the journey goes into where do you go? Is it safe?
And
have
how
you
do go?
explored?
So you can do it properly.
Yeah.
I think you have to go through that due process. I'll tell you one thing, it is very easy to become despondent when seeing the way the world is going right now. You know, I was joking about TikTok must die now because it's had enough, but I've seen also an entire generation that has been able to connect to each other, connect to health, connect to mental wellness, connect to physical well-being. There are so many plus points, but most importantly, they have an idea of what they can be now because they can see themselves represented. And that's a gift that the world has been given courtesy of social media. Before you knock it, before you want to beat down these crazy trends, understand that if you look at it through a different lens, these are tools that we can use to empower our young women and boys. So please look at it through that lens. And if you need support, there's a tribe. You can talk to people just to open up and speak, please.
Thanks a lot for that conversation and to our guests as well. And as you know, beauty is only skin deep. But here's the question we asked you on social media today. It was related to, have you had Botox? Have you had plastic surgery? And if not, would you consider it? And why? Here are some of your answers. Let's go with Rose Chetty saying, absolutely not. I love and appreciate my skin and myself. There's nothing wrong to look and feel beautiful, but in the right way. I personally think before anyone feels insecure of how they look, they should take a moment to think of someone who has no arms or legs, or someone that's burnt or bald or crippled, or whatever it might be. Be grateful for the way God has made you. Learn to love yourself is the best care you could give yourself. Wise words from Rose Chetty over here. Thanks so much, Rose, for jumping in, as well as Rita Moody saying, I don't have any problems with any other procedures as long as it's not extreme. Josephine Pixton saying, good morning, family. No, I would not have. I have natural beauty. I'm blessed with beautiful, thick lips. Yes, you are, Josephine. Stunning you are. Thank you for mentioning you know, us on social media. Also, just getting in on the topic. We love to hear your voice notes too if you want. 063-408-8863, or continue commenting on the Facebook page. Beauty is indeed only skin deep. If you've had Botox or plastic surgery, let me know. Alternatively, if not, would you consider it and why? More importantly, this is your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So, Florence.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gatle, gatle. We're Italian. That's why I was pizza. I'm Italian. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Now, imagine being mocked and laughed at for your sense of fashion. The same sense of fashion that lands you a showcase at this year's Africa Fashion Week in London. Our next guest, fashion designer Anita Mhlazo, doesn't have to imagine. This is her reality. Let's find out how this young talent has unlocked her 100%. Anita, here we are. Look at that story.
Yes.
Why would somebody even laugh at your sense of fashion? Like, why? What's the case?
They probably didn't get it. Because as much as I got the laughters, I got a lot of people that would tell me, you're really brave for dressing how you're dressing. And if I could do it, I would do it.
You see
So
that? Yeah.
it's the people that don't understand, that come up to you and question why you're like this, instead of appreciating or trying to learn from that.
Maybe people who are scared.
Yes.
And not ready to be bold and try something new. And you are there to help them unlock that in themselves too, which is why you're unlocking a 100%. But so you have a fashion design degree, CPUT, you came out of there, and you created a label called Afro Grunge. Tell me a bit more about that.
It started through my personal experience, how I chose to style myself and express myself.
Nice.
And for some time, it was hard to continue that because of how people would react to that. So then I thought, okay, let me channel all this energy, let me learn design, let me continue doing what I want to do, but through a different means. And that's when the brand started.
That's so cool.
Thank you so much.
And now starting a brand as well, and also getting criticism, how do you stay true to yourself? How do you keep on going, especially when criticism comes from the people closest to you as well? How did you keep going?
Yeah, especially coming from a background where a lot of my family has not done their own thing. So, and then having to like push for years to reach the level I'm at, it took a lot of encouragement, especially for my mom, because I'd have moments where I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for quite some time and I don't know where it's going. And she would say to me, like, you need to keep on pushing on, you need to focus on your dreams, and when it hits, you'll see it. And as long as I'm here, you can just try, you can fail, but it'll work out for you. And being here is a testament to that, I believe.
Oh, yes, I believe so too.
Yeah, so and also like having people that have done it like before you, like looking up to designers, people like Tebe Makuku, Richard Nisi are literally, for me, examples of the potential you could take fashion to. So just having those people influence me and my journey has brought me to this place I'm at today.
And someone who can be laughed at, somebody who's from Delft, and you're thinking, hey, I'm never going to get out of this place. And now suddenly collaborations with influencers like Moonchild. Is that true?
Yes. So,
yeah, you have to. You got to celebrate that, girlfriend.
No, that was a big deal. And I was so scared to approach her, but
Yeah.
I told myself, like, let me package myself in a way that when I do talk to her, she
Yes.
will find value in what I have to offer her. And I did just that. I hit her up. And I want to say I hit her up so that if anyone is watching this and they want to approach someone and they're scared, just slide in the DMs. I hit her up. I told her I'm this person. I've done A, B, C, D, and I think me dressing you would make sense. And she said
Agreed.
yes. She said yes. So
I'm just waiting for you to... You haven't slid into my DMs. So I'll wait for it. I mean, I've been waiting. I've been like refreshing.
It's going to happen.
Okay, it's going to happen.
We can talk. I don't need to slide
I don't
in
need to use a lot of
DMs. I'm next
material
to you.
either. It's fine. But the achievement around Africa Fashion Week in London, how do you feel? Do you feel affirmed? Do you feel like this journey, it means so much more when you get the acknowledgement, like Africa Fashion Week in London? That's great. How do you feel about that?
I feel awesome. I feel like it's full circle because I discovered grunge and it made sense to me through the use of my phone. So I had access to this global world in my room, in my space. And now I'm at a point where I'm still in Delft, I'm still in the hood, I'm still in the locations, but I will physically go to London. So the aspirations I had and these spaces I had access to in a digital space, I will be there in person. So that is like mind-blowing, and it just shows like what level a person can reach through determination. Right? So I'm super excited. I'm ready to bring grunge to that Africa Fashion London space because they curate African talent.
London's big for grunge too.
Exactly.
It's huge for grunge.
It's huge for grunge.
Yeah,
so being
like
there physically, seeing the stores, the history of grunge would be amazing.
And also bringing in African culture too. I mean, that collaboration, it's a match made in heaven, if you ask me. So
Yes.
this is exciting. I mean, I'm looking at your pieces on this rail as well. I'm looking forward to so much that's coming through in your future. And
Thank you so much.
I know that there are many more DMs to come. And not you sliding, but people sliding into your
In mine,
DMs saying,
yes.
hey, could you dress me?
Yes.
That's what I see when it comes to your potential. And we're going to unlock that.
Thank you so
This is
much.
great. Anita, what an inspiration, honestly. Beautiful story over here, and I hope that you were inspired. And do remember to keep an eye out on Crush's social media pages for more information on the Unlock Your 100% with Crush TV show that you can watch on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. with a repeat show every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on SABC2.
Fall into a beautiful night's rest. Stand a chance of winning a double bed from the bed shop to the value of 5,000 Rand. To enter, comment on the competition post on the Clover Crush Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and tell us how winning this prize will help you unlock your 100%. Make sure you include the hashtag Crush in your answer. The competition closes on the 2nd of April at midnight. T's and C's apply.
Oh, beautiful stuff from future superstars in fashion. Let's move to music, and the Metro FM Awards are back, baby. The nominees are out with KO leading the pack, with the later AKA getting a few nods himself as well. And our own Kutle Adams was at the ceremony reporting for Expresso, rubbing shoulders with the biggest musos in the industry. Let's go and join the party.
South Africa's much anticipated music awards are back. Oh yes, the Metro FM Awards make a return, bigger and more glamorous than ever. We've sung along to our favorite songs and danced to our favorite music, but now it's time for Mzansi's biggest and brightest talents to be recognized. We are here at Inanda Club in Sandton to celebrate with the nominees, but most importantly, find out what more we can expect from the Metro FM Awards this year. DJ Sabby's in the house. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. This is the guy who wakes you up on Metro FM every morning.
Between 6 and 9.
Everything is new, everything is rejuvenated, refreshed, it's bigger, it's better. The Metro FM Awards are back after such a long time. How are you feeling?
I'm super excited, you know, Metro being in the pinnacle, being in the breakthrough, and just being in the heart of music in South Africa. I think it's instrumental that we celebrate the artists that deliver amazing music. We're here at the nominees party, so congrats to all those that are nominated.
Lerato Kganyago is in the house. We also love and know her as LKG, looking beautiful.
So are you, mommy? Love the dress. Black is back, you know, meaning the Metro FM Music Awards are back. Generally, I always say I'm the mother of music. I'm the mother of local music. I support all the guys, all the girls. So I'm rooting for everybody that's nominated today, even though the ones that are not nominated tonight, you know. Try again next year, but it doesn't mean that, you know, your hard work goes unnoticed.
You are both music lovers, right? Kayezi, you're taking over the top 30. I'm not sure if you're allowed to answer this question, but who are some of your faves?
I cannot answer that question because when you have the most important chart in the land, everybody who's on that chart is your favorite.
You gotta be recognized by the tall wonder. I mean, do you have any favorites?
I'm super excited to also see like where the scene is at right now in terms of like the development of sound, like Amapiano, New Age R&B, Hall of Fame, and all of that. So it's an exciting time for Metro FM and everybody else in South Africa.
As a public service broadcaster, our responsibility mainly is to make sure that we unearth talent. We play a pivotal role in terms of promoting and developing the music industry. So we form collaborations such as this to make sure that we keep it alive as part of our culture preservation efforts.
Leading the hip-hop game, KO, one of the most nominated for this year's Metro FM Awards. Congratulations, how are you feeling?
It's a total honor and a blessing, you know what I mean, like for someone like myself who's considered an OG by now, you know, all these years in the game, and still being able to sit at the helm of the game is just something incredible. I think one of the main things for me that allows me to just continue staying at the top of things is the fact that I'm a fan first, I'm a consumer first, and an artist second, you know? So I watch everything that plays out around me, study the landscape, and then move accordingly, you know what I mean?
two-time nominee for the Metro FM Awards 2023. Out of the two categories that you've been nominated in, Best Music Video and the Best Home and Kwaito, which one do you want to walk away with?
I'm gonna take them off, y'all. I don't know, but as well, I'm loving the music video because I put a lot of effort on my music video. But of course, and home, I'm still representing that sound. There's a lot happening. Hopefully we'll get one.
Being nominated in the category for Best House for me is a big deal, especially considering the people that I'm nominated with. So it kind of sets my artistry at a certain bar. I mean, we're talking Zakes Mantwini, we're talking Kayanda Soul, and then there's Sky Wonder in the mix. I take my craft so seriously that I always reach into the deepest parts of me and then express whatever is there. So I think that's what's making me win, me being genuine and true to myself.
Well, I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling grateful, man. I'm so grateful. That's my first time being nominated. So, like, I'm over the moon, man. I'm over the moon. Some more, man. Some more.
I mean, I've done so much in a short space of time. There's so much I feel like I've achieved, you know, having a song with John Legend and Black Coffee, and being able to just stick to what I believe in and not be shook by whatever is happening around me. I feel like Best Male would suit me. Thank you so much, you know, for believing in me when it wasn't fashionable to do so. I'm really grateful more than anything.
As you can see for yourself, the atmosphere is absolutely electrifying. The excitement is in the air. The Metro FM Music Awards are back, happening on the 6th of May in Bombela, Mpumalanga. Make sure to catch the live action on SABC1. Umakadzi is currently performing, and I do not want to miss out.
Oh, congratulations to the first timers especially. Congratulations to the multiple nominees. Congratulations to Kutle.
Outshining everybody.
Yeah, literally. The rest of the field, girl. She just needs to start singing. But Kutle, we love you, girl. Thank you for bringing us that one.
And that's the Metro FM Awards, set to, of course, take place in May, celebrating local artists in style. And voting is open to the public by dialing star 120 star 45787 hash. Do follow the prompts and get voting.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso here in S3, and we're back, still chatting to the pop star himself, Jan Closer, who is about to give you the perfect closer to the show. But it's been 5 years since you were in South Africa, and now, of course, you got Surrender, which is that 7th studio album that you're very excited about, and we're excited about as well. Just to unpack it just a bit more, this collection of songs and calling the album Surrender, what was it about that journey that you want to take the listener that really kind of matched surrender in a way? Like, what were you trying to do with the person who was going to grab this piece of music?
Right, you know, I mean, my co-writer Alex Forbes and I wrote most of the material for Surrender, for the Surrender album.
Okay.
During COVID, so, you know, I would go to her apartment in Manhattan. I live in Queens, and we would just pour everything we were going through into those songs. So, and there was no lack of what, you know, of material, as everyone knows.
Yes.
You know, so it was easy to get inspired, but it was also really hard because we couldn't make the record the way we normally did. You know, so we had to get very creative with how we got the record done and how we got it started.
Aha. So I'm thinking about that interaction, especially during COVID times as well. You know, when you're singing together and you're saying this line's going to work, that line's going to work. I've always been fascinated about that process. Like, you know, when you write something down and your collaborator is saying, like, this is not going to work here, you know, it's very difficult to not get your ego involved and say, like, I really enjoyed that line, and now you're saying it's not working in the melody. So how do you navigate that space when you're writing music? I've always wondered.
It's a great question, you know, because I think when I started out, I was so insecure, you know.
Yes.
I thought, like, what I'm doing isn't good enough. I mean, I still go through, you know, phases like that. I think we all do, you know. But I think as time went by, I got more confident in my writing, and I had more success with the music itself, and I felt a connection with an audience. I found my audience. I'm finding my audience all the time, you know. So I go into it with, it's a collaboration. So if we don't agree on it, then let's find something else, you know.
And I like that versatility and pivoting as well, which is so important. Sometimes you have to do it as an artist. Now, if I look at South Africa, I mean, you hear Splashy Fen coming up, we're excited, but, you know, would you, I mean, Karen Zoid, you said you wrote, you know, just, you know, the Champagne song with her, but now looking at South Africa as a music destination, I mean, would you come through, write, collaborate, connect? I mean, what have you heard so far?
Absolutely. And I just had a writing session yesterday with DJ Kosher.
He was on the show recently.
He was on the show recently. He told me, he was like, please tell everybody he says hello. He says hello. And we had a lot of fun, you know, and he's stylistically, he's in a different genre than I am, but it doesn't matter, you know, because a good song is a good song, you know. So I love collaborating with other writers. So if, you know, if someone's out there looking for, you know, looking for a new writer, a new co-writer, reach out. Reach out.
Slide into the DMs of Jan Closer. That's a good idea. Well, if you want a collaboration, there it is, right there. Jan Closer is about to give you a show closer on your Feel Good Breakfast show. This is Surrender.
These four walls I no longer fit in. A hammer will fall on these habits I'm breaking. Shock my senses and blow my mind. Watch me come alive. I surrender, I surrender. 'Cause even the darkest night has to end, and I surrender, I surrender. Stepping into the light, it's do or die. I surrender, I surrender. War of words in my head got me spinning. I'm thinking the worst, but I still keep running. Every moment magnified, I could fall or fly. I surrender, I surrender. 'Cause even the darkest night has to end, and I surrender, I surrender. Stepping into the light, it's do or die. I surrender, I surrender. surrender.
That was the 9th genre of music that we've covered today.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. You're an absolute genius. Beautiful stuff. Speaking of geniuses, thank you so much for Carissa Leila for joining us this morning. Can I ask you just very quickly for some advice for myself, for everyone who's going to be hitting their Instagram feed, their TikTok feed after this? How should we, in this light of self-acceptance, how should we approach our social media today?
Sheesh. You should probably approach with caution. No, I'm kidding.
My page,
social media can be a really draining space. I always say that you should follow accounts that encourage you, follow accounts that really add value to your life instead of have you get stuck in this hole of like comparison, you know? So if you're going to approach social media, I would say go in at hacking. Take out all the accounts that just don't make you feel good and stick with the ones that make you feel like Carissa's a good person and I feel encouraged, I feel stronger, I feel empowered.
I like that shameless self-promotion there that you managed to sneak in, girl. We're here for that. That's what it's about.
I do follow her, that's fine.
I know.
I'm a better person for it, but it's great because you've got collaborators within your space. Your feed has to represent the energy that you want to bring to the world, and that should nourish the energy. It shouldn't be taking anything away, which is so important. So, Doctor, where can we visit you in case we'd like to just have a conversation with you?
Well, you can visit me virtually, which is the easiest way since COVID, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, my clinic is in Oranjezicht.
Okay, lovely stuff.
We will keep all of your details up. If anyone needs to ask anything of anyone on the show today, go back onto the YouTube channel, check us out, check out our socials. We'll keep all of those connections right there.
A last toast to the show because I said we need a proper closer.
Please.
Here's Mr. Closer again. Let's do it again.
We love you, and we love you most of all. Have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Better food choices never tasted so good, nor were they ever so easy as the range of healthy living options. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.